You're listening to the Everything Swallow podcast with Sean and Shaina Swallow. Sound good? That's my favorite part.
Put on your house robe.
That's right, it's the swallows
And your fluffy shoes.
Cause the swallows are here. Make yourself comfortable. It feels kind of awkward though as I'm sitting here with you two fellas and I'm singing this song. And then Shayna's not in the room. And I'm like, hey guys, the swallows are here. Put on your house robes, fellas. We're about to have an afternoon.
It's going to be good.
I need more beer.
All right, well, drink those Rogue ones first. I think they're like 11% alcohol. Thank you so much for joining us a second time on the Everything Swallow podcast in one day. That's
Wow.
impressive.
2 podcasts one day. That's some good stats.
That's a movie. Don't Google it. All right, so tell us your names again. Go ahead, tell us your name again.
My name is Chris Bogle.
Are you looking at your notes?
I am looking at my
For your
notes.
name?
Yeah.
Definitely did.
I saw you look down at your notes. Okay, go ahead, read the notes.
Just be like, oh, shit, what is the name?
When you said you got notes, I didn't think you meant your name on them.
Yeah, we wrote a whole transcript, so.
If it's not on the transcript, I don't know what to say.
Okay, Chris, please read your notes.
We're going to be talking about board games today. Been playing for about roughly 8 years now. So started right after high school. Friends got me into it, and yeah.
And you just been
Excited.
hooked. So, like, we all played board games as kids, but we'll get into that later. So you started probably more than 8 years ago, I'm going to guess.
Yeah, when I say 8, I mean more of the board games that we'll be talking about today.
I gotcha. Okay, and Mr.
Robert Myers?
See, he knew his name. He didn't have it on his...
I forgot.
His name is on my notes.
Yeah, he's got the intro notes. I got none of it, so I'm just going to wing it from here. But yeah, I've been playing board games for as long as I can remember.
Yeah.
Probably about the same with Chris. Probably about 10 years playing these newer games.
Okay.
Catan's the one that kind of piqued my interest back into games, and
Okay.
from there I just got deeper and deeper. So down the rabbit hole I went.
Deeper.
Yes.
Now, these are different than what we might expect as a traditional board game, or if I saw you playing it, would I be like, oh, those guys are playing a board game, or those guys are playing some weird-ass game? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. So all games are good, no matter if it's Monopoly, if it's Clue, whatever you like. Any game that you want to play that game.
Right.
I'm all
Yeah.
for it.
We've got that one over there.
As long as you like it, then no other opinion matters, really.
Right. Well, I get that. Yeah, that makes sense.
But the games we're going to talk about today are going to take you a little bit deeper into the gaming community. They're a little bit more on the complex side rather than the typical roll and move games that a lot of people know, like Monopoly.
Right. Okay, I get that. Roll and move.
Yeah. So we're gonna go through a bunch of different categories of games. Give you some of our favorites in those categories. So if one of those piques your interest, that way you can play that one and see if that's something you want to dive deeper into.
And a lot of the games we'll be talking about, me and Rob were discussing this. A lot of them have like multiple mechanics to them. So
Okay.
we'll kind of do a little intro on those mechanics and that kind of thing. But
Okay.
as you learn more about board games, you can kind of figure out what you like and what other kind of board games you like.
Okay. All right. I'm in. I'm not lost because it seems like that it's just the same kind of thing. You're just playing board games, but the way you're describing them, it makes it feel like it's more exclusive. Like these are special games that you play, not just you go buy at Walmart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So slowly and surely, these games are coming into Walmart and Target.
Okay.
You're finding more and more of them there, but a lot of these, a lot of them are coming off of Kickstarter now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Like people making their own games.
People making their own games, coming up with an idea, and then trying to get funded.
So I missed the beginning. Greet you.
I had to look up my name.
You missed
That
some of
happens
the best
sometimes.
part.
Yeah, that happens.
Chris and Robert are here going to tell us about some of the board games that they're into, going to introduce us into. These are, from what I got from the intro, these are board games that are a step up from your regular family Christmas table games
Okay.
into a more gaming community. So are you guys go to the coffee shops and stuff and play the games? Is that these kind of games?
No.
You get together on special nights with that special...
That's these kind of games.
That's these kind of games.
Yeah.
It is that,
So
but you
it's-
guys may not, but that's these types of
Yeah,
games.
yeah, that requires socializing. So
Okay, so what are some of the names of some of these games?
Good question.
did you want us to tell you now? Or you
Yeah,
wanna
do your
wait till
thing.
we
You
go
guys,
through
you
it?
guys
yeah.
came with a plan,
Yeah.
so we haven't gotten. You just got here.
Okay.
They just introduced themselves, and they have a plan on what they're going to talk about. They're going to talk about their entry games, right? Where you start, all the way up to D&D.
Yeah, because my name is Shaina and I don't game.
Yeah.
Yes.
So how would I begin to learn to game?
Shaina, that is not true. You play games.
Then you need Mousetrap. Mousetrap, I guarantee it's the craziest trap you'll ever see. The first to capture everyone else's mouse is the winner. Just turn the crank and snap the blank and boot the marble right down the chute. Now watch it roll and hit the ball. And knock the ball.
There you go, Mousetrap. We're going to be playing some Mousetrap. right?
Mousetrap.
No?
I'm always down. The game that never works the way you want it to work.
Right.
I mean, I've only
It's all
set it
trickery.
up and set it off, but I don't know if I've actually ever played.
I've never played it. I've never played it. Not one time.
We usually
My-
get like halfway through and then just set the whole thing up because
Yeah.
we got bored.
Yeah,
Right.
I think like what everyone normally thinks of is Monopoly, and what were we talking about the other day? Parcheesi.
Oh,
And,
Parcheesi. Can I play my favorite?
yeah.
Okay, I'll play it low. Listen to all the things you can win.
I know. I don't know. You have to. It's just you. It's just you and mine.
You get a wife.
See, this game tricks you. That game of life, that's false expectation game of life.
Yes.
That's what that is. That's false dreams of life.
That's exactly
Because when
right.
you get two babies, you don't get a house.
No, you
No.
don't.
You get two babies, you almost lose your house.
And your car does not fit them.
No.
No.
Never. You always
Never,
need a
never,
new
never.
car.
Yeah,
Well,
the
did
better
you-
game of life is called Payday.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
true.
yeah.
Payday is better.
And that game is miserable because you're always paying bills. Grandma comes to visit, $5,000. Well, what did Grandma do when she was in town? Like,
She likes the strip clubs.
Is that how it kind of started for you guys? It's just good old-fashioned Monopoly games?
Yeah, for me, it definitely was. I know, like me, when I started, I would play like Hasbro games and that kind of thing, and then like someone would come on and they'd be like, "Hey, try this game,"
Yeah.
and then it slowly got me into it.
Right, trying something different, trying something new. Yeah, I mean, well, if you look around, like the gaming stores are popping up everywhere. Because, like, now, right over here behind us, we have the Gaming Goat.
yes.
And then right down the street is, what is that one? Grounds.
Enchanted Grounds.
Yeah, Enchanted Grounds, right? So you feel like now there's a little gaming store popping up in every strip mall.
Yes.
You know, so that's interesting, I think, because like Ariel, before she left here, she was really into
D&D.
D&D, you know. But is that the same kind of game of what you guys are talking about, or is that more of like a fantasy story game?
D&D would probably be more like a role-playing game.
Okay.
You know, you have somebody that creates a story, people role-play their characters, that kind of thing. And depending on who you play with, there may be a board to it, that kind of thing. But
Right.
it's kind of more just based off of the group and how in-depth they go into that D&D.
Right, and whoever like the leader is, right?
Yeah, the things we're going to be talking about today, they're all in a box. You unload the box, you read rule books, and then
Tells
you're
you how
just
to
ready
play
to
it.
play.
Okay.
okay.
What was that one game that they used to play when we were at church? And it was like, it had the board game, and you build like a castle, and you had to get like ground and dirt and trade your cards, and I can't remember.
Minecraft or
No,
something? Pokemon? Magic?
no.
Those were all the games. No, Magic wasn't.
I don't know. Anyways,
Huh.
go ahead. I know that they're out there.
I hated the game Risk. I played that twice, and I hated it.
My brother always cheated on that game.
Yeah, you can cheat?
He found a way. I was also pretty dumb as a kid, though.
I love the game Risk. That's one of our territory control games that we're going to talk about later.
There you go, territory control.
Yeah.
That's
so,
what it's called.
Wow.
That's what the one game that I'm talking about is. And then you like take over their territory and you have to, I don't know. I'm sure you'll say it. If you say it, it'll come to me.
Maybe it was Risk.
No, Rick and them used to play it with the youth group.
I got nothing.
Okay. Anyways,
I've never been a board gamer. I played Monopoly when I was a kid. I absolutely hated it. It turned me off. I liked life because I got a wife and some kids and a car. But other than that, I didn't like anything else. I was not into it.
That's great.
Yeah, someone just said that Risk ruined their friendship for a couple weeks.
Yeah.
You're lucky if it was only a couple weeks. It's
Yeah.
definitely ruined some relationships. Some have been lifelong.
That's what I was
Yeah.
going to say. The person that Sean played it with, he still hates her to this day.
That's Parcheesi.
Oh, Parcheesi, not
Still
Risk.
Risk. I don't like those people. Mm-hmm. So it's the same. All right, educate us, my man.
Well, I'll let Rob start off because he's got like just a little description and pros and cons of each category. He'll tell his game, and then I'll tell my game in that category.
All right. So our first type of game is going to be called a deck builder. This game is primarily cards. Each card has a different ability based off of it. And as you go, there's different mechanics, but you're going to gain cards into your own personal hand to use to benefit your game and your goal.
Okay.
So my favorite on this one is called Mystic Veil. It kind of came in, it's a newer age deck builder game where instead of increasing your hand size and increasing cards, you're upgrading your cards.
Oh,
So
like
there's-
getting better ones.
Yeah. So you have like a transparent sleeve and you're sliding in different abilities onto these cards. So you're making the cards themselves better.
Interesting.
Yeah.
What is that one? Mystic Veil?
Mystic Veil, yes.
Okay.
And are you telling us these rated by beginner to expert?
These are... We're going to go all kind of beginner games for different categories.
Okay.
So
Okay.
this one, if you play this game and you like how it works and how it flows, then we can get you into a little bit more complex, complicated games. This one has a bunch of expansions for it that complicate the game itself.
Right. So that's probably a good way to go because the game can go a really long time.
Right.
Yeah. Because, you don't want to have a game and then it's just over super fast.
Yeah, and this one has a bunch of like repeat.
Well,
No, nobody likes that.
no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No one likes a
Nobody
quickie.
No one likes it.
But yeah, this game has a lot of replayability in it because each time you're changing the cards themselves over and over
Right.
again. So you can go for different goals each different time you play it, and each way you go, you can be successful at it, which is
Okay.
really nice.
So it goes around like each player has a chance to play their hand. Yeah?
Yeah,
And,
so-
and then you pick up cards, and that's how you build your cards as you go.
Correct. So there's going to be a bunch of cards out on the table that we can all see, which is the market. And then you play your cards to earn cash to spend at that market on that turn.
Oh, okay.
And then you can buy cards or advancements to add to your card to make it
More powerful.
more powerful.
Interesting.
More power.
But then you don't lose your cards. You get to keep them.
Yep, so
and
they-
then you just get to play them.
Here's power.
Yep. So then you put it in a discard pile, reshuffle it, and then get your new hand the next turn.
The next turn.
So,
Okay,
yeah.
interesting. And that's a deck building game?
Yep.
Okay.
And then for this category, deck building game, I have Dominion. It's a pretty entry level game, and I think you can't even find it at like Barnes and Noble and that kind of thing. Very similar. You start out with just like a hand of 10 cards. There's coins, and then there's land. The land does nothing except earn you points at the end of the game. And then the coins are how you buy stuff. You can either buy cards that give you abilities, or you can buy higher power or higher coin count cards or higher land point cards. But if you buy too many lands, then your deck gets, weighed down by those cards that do nothing for you. So you gotta walk this fine line of buying coins and buying abilities and then buying land so that you can come out on top by the end of the game.
So it's a game of strategy.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Strategy.
Dominion has been around for a long time, and this is a great game to start with because there are like 10 expansions or something like that.
Wow.
There's more
That's
expansions than you
amazing.
ever need. But if you like the first game, then you have somewhere to go with it.
Do you think that like games like this have been around a long time, but they were just kind of like that cult following? You know what I mean?
I mean, there's some games. I don't have any on my list, I don't think. But there's some games that are like in the top 100 best games of all time that people think that have been around since like the 60s.
Really? Well, that's kind of Dungeons and Dragons, right? I mean, that's been around for a really, really long time. So that's what I'm wondering. Like some of these games, to have so many expansion packs. I mean, you know, you can crank them out or whatever, I'm sure, but still, there's years
Yeah.
in that process of building that game up.
Oh yeah.
You know, and so that's pretty interesting. I just feel like it was always more of like that cult following that is now exploding.
Yes.
You know?
I think we've had like a change in the culture where when I went to high school, you had those gamers, those nerds classified, and nerds were not classified as cool. And
No.
I think we're slowly changing that. I think Marvel's really helped.
Yeah.
Marvel became really mainstream.
Nerds are becoming cool.
and nerds are becoming nerds have always been cool.
Yes,
Well,
they have. I agree.
But now just they're
My mom was right. We are cool.
just now finally coming out of their shell and showing everyone in the world what they have to offer.
Right, right.
Which has been great.
Right.
And I think board games is a mechanic for them to come together and find some common interest,
Right.
which has been great.
It is interesting, though, that they haven't been advertised more in the past, as I feel like they are now. You know what I mean?
Games?
But I feel like the only advertisement is the people going to all these little game shops now and buying all these different games,
Yeah.
you know, that are really more fun, it seems like, because they go on longer. They have more substance to them.
Correct.
As to where your typical board game is just a half hour, well, with the
Yeah.
exception of Monopoly
Well,
and Life.
yeah. Right.
You know,
I mean, I just
a
want
short
to.
game.
I want to sink some battleships and go on with my day.
Well, but do you? I mean,
I think so.
I don't know. You've never tried one.
I have never tried one. I played D&D a couple times, but that doesn't count.
You liked that one.
I like D&D, but I was a kid. I was a teenager. I don't know.
You've not tried it
I
again.
have not as an adult.
Ariel got super excited about it.
Hooked
I mean,
on it,
she
yeah.
wrote
Like-
her own.
Yeah, she became a dungeon master.
Yeah,
right away.
She
Yeah.
was writing stories and characters and
Her own quests.
You know, her quest. I have no idea. The lingo.
Yeah, there's a lot of lingo that we're trying to like walk you through today to give you kind of like a
lingo.
beginner education
Lingo.
of, so that way you can kind of converse. Because a
Yeah.
lot of times gamers look at Monopoly and Clue as being these minimal games.
Yeah,
Like you're not
almost
a gamer if you play that. but, like,
Childish.
yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas they just each game has its own like set of parameters for who wants to play it.
Right.
You know,
But you know that when you're picking your game, right?
Exactly. If
I mean-
you love playing Monopoly, you love that game, then love it and do it.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
It's not any less than my games. My games are just maybe not more well known or more well played because there's so many games out there. There's
Right.
enough games out there today that if I played a game every day for the rest of my life, I would not play every single game that's out there.
Wow.
But the whole the goal, the essential is, I mean, the final goal is essentially all the same,
Yeah.
right? You want to own all the land or control all the stuff or have all the cards or
Or
have
get the
all the
most
coins
points.
or get the most points. So basically, it's just a different form of Monopoly in a sense. You know
But
what I
it
mean? It's
almost
just-
makes your brain work more.
The whole point of the game is to have fun and have an
Yeah.
experience.
Yeah.
Right.
A lot of people get tied up on winning and losing. I've started a new policy at my house where before we start the game, we say don't let the outcome of the game determine how much fun you have during the game.
Yeah, right.
Because we're here,
Right.
we're coming together because these games provide us fun.
Yeah.
we want to have fun.
And you all like them together, you know, collectively. And so it's like, let's enjoy them together.
Exactly.
Not let the competition come in and ruin it.
That's bullshit.
That's what ruins
Why
it
play
a
the
lot.
goddamn game if you're not going to get competitive about it? I'm not just here to have fun. I'm here to kick your ass, Monopoly.
I mean, if you're having fun while doing so.
But what if
then-
you're the guy
then
getting your
that's
ass
okay.
kicked?
But
Well, I was always the guy who got his ass kicked in
Yeah.
Monopoly. It was not fun.
I mean,
That's what Robert's talking
I don't
about.
care. You can say all you want. Like, okay, no matter what, let's have fun and the outcome of this game.
Well, see,
yeah, well,
I-
why don't you have a couple of hotels shoved up your ass on Boardwalk and then maybe see how you feel?
And that's why we don't play Monopoly anymore. There's no fun in that game except for that one player.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I definitely lose a lot of games, and all that. But
Yeah.
even though I lose, I still have fun sitting there like playing these games and trying out these strategies and being like, hey, even though I lost, I only lost by 2 points this time.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Well, and how much is there, like, the curve of learning the game? Right? Because, I mean, there's so many cards.
Right.
You have to learn all of those cards eventually, which you do just playing the game.
So Dominion, there are a ton of cards, but one of the good things about it, and one of the reasons why I think it's an entry level, is you only play with I think it's 8 cards. So there's 8 like piles, and there's just multiple of those same type of cards.
types. Okay.
So in one game, you only need to like read 8 cards and be like, all right, well, I'm going to just focus on these 3 cards.
Right.
You know, so then that makes the game a little bit easier. And then you're going to be like, all right, well, next game, you'll learn more cards, but you can just forget all about those other cards that we learned. You don't need to learn every single card every single time.
So when you guys get a new game, do you just have, like, call a game night? Okay, new game, everyone come over, we're going to learn how to
Yeah.
There's not enough days for that.
play. No.
Yeah, for us, it's our Tuesday.
Right.
We every Tuesday night, or Chris and I usually play games all day Tuesday.
Just to get warmed up.
Just to get warmed up. He brings over all of his new games, and I've stopped buying games because I have so many games that I want to dive into and learn more about.
Further in, right.
Further in. But he'll bring over new games, and we're playing new games every day. There's a lot of YouTube channels out there that will teach you the rules.
How to play the
So you don't even have to read the rule book. And as a visual learner...
That takes away the fun.
Well, does it, though? As a visual learner.
As a visual learner, it really helps to actually see how it's played out rather than reading how it's
because
played
that's how
out.
I learn better, is to watch people play the game, and then it's like, oh, okay, I see what's happening
I like
here.
reading the directions.
Yeah, that's you.
I do. Yeah, interesting.
So, yeah.
I never thought about the fact that all these games probably have tutorials on YouTube and
Yeah.
Probably.
When they don't have a tutorial on YouTube, I'm like, what do I do now?
Right? How new is this game? Is this a good one? Maybe not. There's no tutorials on it.
Yep, and there's a lot of reviews out there. So if you're thinking about buying a board game, watch that review, and you can
Right.
see what they like about it. Because there's a lot of stuff that go into games.
Yeah.
The components, the style of game, the quality. Did it work?
Right.
Because they play these games, and some of them are like,
Didn't really work.
good idea, but it didn't work.
Yeah.
So I recommend watching those reviews so you can.
Interesting. Because they're not
you
cheap,
run into that?
I suspect. These games are not. Like Monopoly, you get at Christmas time for $8.
Yeah, I mean, cheap end for these games is going to be like $30.
Okay.
And that's cheap end.
Okay.
yeah, that makes sense.
But they have expansion packs. I mean, it can continue on going on and on. It's not meant to be a cheap game.
Right. Yeah. So you get more. You're spending more money up front, but you're getting more value out.
Right.
Because like Monopoly, every time you play it, it's the same kind
thing,
of thing.
yeah.
Whoever gets Boardwalk and
Yeah.
I
Parkway,
hate that guy.
Yeah.
that's it. Like
I hate my sister.
Whoever-
I hate that guy.
Whoever tips the board over first loses.
Exactly. At you. Bam.
Interesting. Okay. Well, those. What else you got? You got another entry level game, beginner game?
yeah, we're gonna jump to our dexterity games. So these games are like Jenga. Where
Okay.
Oh, I thought like
Twister.
Twister. Yeah.
Twister. Twister would be a dexterity game.
Yeah.
It would be.
But yeah, these games are something that requires you to do something physical.
Okay.
It requires physical ability. So like I said, Jenga. We decided the weaknesses of these games is someone who doesn't have as good of physical presence or someone who can like physically pull off the game. So like you have someone who plays Jenga who knocks the tower over every time.
Right.
They're not going to have as much fun with these games.
Right.
On the other hand, these are also quicker, more lighthearted games.
Yeah.
You know, it's not serious, it's not complicated. You're not going to lose friendships over these games.
Right. It's just let's have fun.
Yep. I'm going to let Chris start with his dexterity game on this one.
So my dexterity game is Junk Art. It's just a bunch of random pieces, like cone shapes, spheres, little like almost log-like things, very weird shapes and that kind of thing. And the game comes with multiple ways that you stack these, or that you have to build like the tallest tower, or you have to build the most complex tower, or match like colors and that kind of thing. And we've had a lot of fun playing this one. You know, like we've gotten towers that we're just like, this shouldn't be possible right now.
And it's standing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it falls and we just all laugh.
Yeah.
You know? Very simple game, but it's got like different ways to play the game multiple times. We've definitely sat around the table, gotten drunk, and been like, "What if we tried this and made up our own rules?"
Make up your own rules. That's a fun game.
And like had them fail horribly, but
Yeah.
you know, we tried.
Yeah, but that's fun that like, the game even allows for that. You know.
Yeah, it even gives you cards to make you. You're basically going to different cities, is what they call it for each different type of game. So it lets you make your own city.
Oh, fun.
So then those are your special rules. We always try to pack like 20 different ideas into one game, and it just fails horribly. We just need to focus in on one idea. But yeah, that one's a really fun one. That one is,
What is that one called?
Junk art.
Junk art.
Yeah, so it's supposed to be like a bunch of junk that you found at like
Yeah.
a scrapyard is like the theme, but it's just
Yeah.
like little
They have
plastic
their
or
little
wood
pieces.
pieces. Yeah, and
That's
then,
fun. Okay, junk
you
art.
just stack it
yeah,
up.
so that one takes like Jenga to like a whole nother level. If you love Jenga, you should definitely check out Junk Art.
It's the other way around. You're building, well, like, instead of
Yeah.
removing that.
But I mean, you can even like there's some where like you play cities where like you're forcing the person to your left to build something, that kind of thing. So
yeah.
you're like, here's 3 spheres, build with those.
Yeah.
That's cool. That might be fun.
Yeah, that would be fun.
Yep. So mine on this one is going to be Tuki, something along that.
Tuki.
Tuk and an I with an apostrophe over it.
Oh.
This one is maybe a little more step up. This is a kind of a visual looking game. So basically you have 4 logs that are different colors, and then we'll flip over a card, and then it shows you how those logs need to be stacked on each other. Now you also have these white pieces that you can use anywhere to get those logs
To stand
in that position.
Okay.
So you kind of have to conceptualize how these logs are going to be standing.
Yeah.
With this like white background snow that they call.
Okay.
That one I've noticed that not as equal. If you have someone who's very visual, they can dominate the game.
Right.
But everyone still has fun because
Right.
you're playing simultaneously.
Okay.
So everyone's building at the same time, and whoever finishes first gets it. If you finish last, then you get like an X or something, and then you get knocked out of the game.
Sure.
And what's fun about this game is like you can like build something. You're like, yeah, I got this motherfucker, or something like that. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh no, this is off by 1. And then all of a sudden like you're just so angry because you just missed out on it.
Because you lost. You're like,
Tuki.
that would be
Let's see what
fun.
it says. But it sounds like, here we go.
Tuki. Tuki.
It's Finnish.
Tuki.
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 You know what it means?
No.
Support.
Okay.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
As you
and
described the
it's-
game.
Yeah, the
support.
white pieces support the colored pieces.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That, that sounded racist. That was not meant to be racist. I apologize. But I mean, why can't everyone support each other?
That's right. That's exactly
You
right.
didn't make the game.
It all works
Tuki.
together.
I think the theme is
Drop a little ice in
There's,
there. It's real nice. Oh, sure.
there's some kind of tribe in like Alaska or something. They build these stone structures, that like putting rocks on top of each other and that kind of thing. And then that's what the game is like based off of.
Oh, okay.
So
That's pretty fun. There's a towel over there on the thing if you need it.
Thank you.
Over there. Interesting. I like the building games. But
think I'd
I'm
like
way more visual, so I kind of like those things, and I'm good at building things.
Edgar wants to know how many people could play that game at a time.
Tuki, I
Yeah.
think it's 4 players for the base game. But if you like absolutely needed more players, you could buy a second copy, and the game will
You can expand
allow
it that
for
way.
more players. But
Interesting.
just by the game itself,
Does it have
it's
a timer?
4-player. No, it's just whoever builds
First.
first. Well, whoever builds last is the one that's out.
Okay.
So if one person builds super fast, and then
They're
someone
safe.
else is just building.
They're all safe.
Yeah.
And then the last one, wah, wah, you lose.
Yep. Insert Pac-Man noise.
Do you get another chance, or is it just like as soon as you lose that first build, you're out of the game?
I think you get 5 chances.
Okay.
Once you've collected like 5 losses, then we go to the final round. And that's when
Oh, okay.
the final round is like a sudden death.
Okay.
Which is kind of a weird aspect. So if I've been dominating you the whole time and I've been the first one to win, if I lose that final round against second place, they can actually take
First place. Yeah.
which is kind of fun. So, like, even though I've been doing really well, if I lose that final one,
Yeah,
gotta
gives you
stay
that
strong.
chance.
yeah,
It's that moment where you gotta make sure that they choke.
Oh, see, now
Yeah.
you sold me on Junkie.
yeah, that one's really great. I think it's
Sounds
set up for
competitive.
3 players perfectly because there's 3 sets, but I think you can do 4 players as like teams.
Gotcha.
I think it goes
Oh,
up
yeah,
to 4 with
that's what it
teams.
Would it be harder to play teams on that game?
I don't think we've ever tried it with teams.
Well, theoretically, couldn't you play teams of 6, 2 for 6?
Yeah, at that point you can just kind of go all the way up.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You'd probably lose some playing.
But I was
time.
gonna say, and then you
Yeah.
only have like there's just the one person is building at that time. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But the other person could be like, what if you kind of helping move? Or
Right.
like, be like, what if you put this piece here? Just trying to help out.
Right.
Yeah. But I mean,
So-
this is one of the cheaper games, so like
You
you could
could.
buy like 2 sets and
And
then be
have
like,
it.
it's just a mass
Now junk art.
Mass build.
build.
Junk art. How many people can play that one?
4 people, but once again, you can start doing teams.
Okay.
So 8,
Now, can
16.
you do the same with that? Buy 2 and then just have more people be able to play?
Yeah,
That one
Okay.
sounds fun.
yeah. So
Be fun
I
to
know
play with
like
kids. Is it good for kids?
It would be good for kids, yes.
I know like
It
junk
would be
art,
good for drunk people.
And
Yeah.
drunk
Same
people.
thing. Pretty
It's
much.
why we have it.
Yeah.
We typically call it drunk art.
Yeah, because that's it. You're like, all right, come on. And the more the night goes on, you're like, I'm just gonna
Dookie.
balance this watch. You know? Yeah, that's
I like it. I'm
fun.
going to check into that one.
Okay,
All right. Our next category is going to be our social deduction games.
social deduction.
Yes, social
Okay.
deduction.
That's some Sherlock Holmes.
So
Yeah.
deducing the social.
Yeah, no, I got it.
It's like, deduction of social game. So the weaknesses on this one is the players you have can cripple the game.
Oh,
It's a lot. There's a lot of the games deal with lying. So if you're someone who can't lie whatsoever, the game's going to be ruined.
Right.
So you have to kind of be picky and choosy on who you're going to play with. It also requires more people.
okay.
These
And
are
you have
like
to pay attention. This
Yes,
game, you should pay
sometimes, yeah.
attention.
These are going to be
Murder
like
mystery?
higher player count games. Like 4 to 8.
Okay.
That kind of thing. So if you don't have like 4 people, then you can't really play the game.
Right,
Got it.
right.
Okay.
The strengths of this one is it builds. It's team building.
Okay.
There's going to be usually 2 different sides. There's going to be like good side, bad side. But whatever side you're on, you're going to build these like bonds with people.
With the people, because
Yeah.
you guys are essentially selling the same lie.
Correct.
They're
So
gonna
you
stab
bond
you in the
together,
back.
and it's like, oh no, we're your friend. Turn around.
And then and then it's super thrilling because at some point you might get stabbed in the back. You might make this partnership with someone like I trust you fully, and
then
they've been
they're all,
lying to you the whole time.
Oh man, this game is like real life.
Yeah, this one sounds
This is
yeah.
like, do you trust your neighbor?
Now, how many people have you played this one with? What's your number?
For my game, the ideal number is 7 or 9,
Okay.
just because that way the good side.
That's an odd number.
Yeah, the good side has more people.
Yeah.
And the bad side has fewer people because it's easier for them to corrupt the good,
The good
people. So
people.
it's better to have that 7 to 9 number. 8 when it's like. So what they do is in 8 you have 3 bad people and 5 good. And that's really kind of hard to.
It's really heavy.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
It
mean, like lopsided,
Yeah,
yeah.
it really sways to one side on that one. Whereas just having to sway one person to
Yeah.
now make your numbers 4 to 3. Is a
Now,
lot
do
more
they
fun.
know they're being swayed in the game?
Not till the end. Not till the
Okay,
end.
because
yeah.
they're thinking like, oh yeah, they have a good idea. Okay, I'll go with
Oh, you don't know who's
That's
bad.
like the board
You don't know
that I
who's
sit
bad.
on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't know they've
You
been
don't know
screwed
who's
over
bad
until
until
the end.
Until the end of the
game.
season,
Until
and then
the
you're
end of the
like,
game, yeah.
"Wah, wah, I should have went that way."
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Foiled again.
So the game that I've been leading up to is
fun too.
well, the game I've been leading up to is Secret Hitler.
Secret Hitler.
Secret Hitler.
That sounds fun.
Yeah.
Not really.
And so what now I just want to ask on that
Yes.
game, what is the bad trying to persuade?
Okay, so in Secret Hitler, you have the liberals, the Liberal Party, and then you have the Fascist Party. Those are the
Gotcha.
bad side. So it kind of goes into that era, pre-Hitler area,
Right.
where Germany's kind of in this upwards battle of what policies are we acting, who are we as a country, and it really dives into that one. And the culture in it is really nice if you start to think about it. So on the liberal side, everyone's a liberal. They're all equal. They have no special roles. You just know you're liberal.
Right.
The fascist side, you have two fascists who are party members of the fascist party, and then you have Hitler. So one person's going to play as Hitler, and the goal of the fascist party is to elect Hitler as chancellor.
Okay.
Just like we did in real life, and horrible events took place.
Right.
It's like very weird. They grow a mustache all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Never hit it
Start talking in a strong German accent.
right?
So throughout the game, you're passing these different policies.
Okay.
You have liberal policies and fascist policies.
This sounds so already outside my world. It's so difficult.
It is
Go ahead.
very.
You use the word fascist. Go ahead.
It's very abstracted though. Like everything he's saying, it's very simple. Where it's just like, yay or nay. It's
Right.
not like.
I'm not.
Yeah.
Well, it's all
I'm not
written
marching,
for
right?
you
Not the
already.
march.
You're just reading it, following along, and then making your choice from that.
Huh.
So basically, you could just think of it as, do we want to pass blue or red? It's that simple. It's not like the different policies have different rules.
Okay.
It's just whether or not you want to pass blue for your side liberal or red for your side fascist.
Okay.
Everyone is pretending to be liberal.
Right.
Doing all these liberal activities while the fascists are secretly undermining the liberals.
Okay.
And protecting their Hitler to get him elected. So what you do is, at the beginning of the game, everyone closes their eyes. The fascists will wake up and make eye contact with each other so that they know that they're fascist. And then Hitler will put his thumb up.
Oh.
And so
And that way no one else knows.
yeah, so Hitler doesn't even know who's on his side.
Okay.
But the fascists know who Hitler is.
And they know we got to protect him.
Yeah.
We're going to get him voted in.
Yeah, so being Hitler is one of the hardest roles because you have to pretend to be liberal while trying to figure out who's on your side, who's protecting you.
Right.
Because you don't know.
You have no idea.
That sounds hard to do drunk.
This game I've taught to people who are not gamers.
Right.
I've taught other games like the Mystic Veil, and they could not get their head around Mystic Veil, but they could get their head around this one. It plays out really simple.
Yeah.
Huh.
It's complicated to describe,
Right.
but it plays out really well.
Well, and it's like a murder mystery, right? You're all trying to figure
Yes,
out
who the
who it
murderer
is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
As no one knows who Hitler is.
So
would you
So then
call
when
this
you
a-
start the game, you think everyone's a liberal. Mm-hmm. You don't have any idea who Hitler is, or
Is it a board game? Is this a
It's,
dice
it's
game?
kind
Is
of
it
a card game.
Okay.
Okay, you drawing cards? I mean, I just don't get how it would even
So
the
like
mechanism.
the cards are just like you get a card. It shows you
Okay.
your position, liberal, fascist, or
Right.
Hitler.
Okay.
And then you have the policies, which are just red or blue.
Right.
You know, and then like, so the game goes around. One person will be elected. Was it chancellor or something for the round? And then there's vice chancellor,
President.
Thank you. And those two people vote on who is going to throw in their votes for that round.
Okay.
And then just if there's
Huh.
all blue, then it's blue. If there's a red though, then it fails and it goes to fascist.
Okay.
And so then all of a
And
sudden
that's
you're
what
like,
they want.
So then all of a sudden you're like, all right, those 30 people, one of them just threw in a fascist card. And so then
Who
you,
is the fascist?
Yeah, so
over
then
there?
you start just throwing accusations wildly and accusing each
Your
other.
mom's a whore!
Yeah, and then you're like, even though I'm the one that threw in the fascist card,
I
this
get it.
motherfucker over here did it.
Right, because you're trying to divert. It's not me.
Mm-hmm.
I like it.
And this is where the game can break down if you don't have someone who can deflect.
Right.
If you're like, you put the fascist card, and they're like, I can't lie, I did. Yes.
Yeah.
That's when the game kind of breaks down. But you can do anything.
Yeah.
Like I've convinced people that I didn't play a certain card. I was like, no, I wasn't part of that. No, I've only played liberal cards. I don't know what you're talking about.
Every time I've played this game,
Wow.
I've been a fascist. And no one else has picked up on it except for Rob. But luckily, he's a fascist with me. So.
He's like, come on, we're together.
I get fascist cards a lot.
That's
and so
funny.
it's really hard. Like when you play with people, then you start learning from game to game. Like, all right, this is how this guy lies. And so we played like 4 games in a row, and I was fascist, and now I'm Hitler.
Oh God.
I'm like the supreme fascist.
Right.
I'm like, how do I convince these people that I'm finally on their side?
Right.
And I like pleaded. I almost cried. Just like, trust me, I'm on your side. Make me chancellor. And then they made me chancellor.
And then you're all, ha I won.
Welcome to the Nazi party. Like,
Ah,
so.
that's what he did in real life.
And that's why this game's so great, is that like it really captures what happened in Germany.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, Germany was in such a tussle for who they were as an identity.
Yeah.
And this party of fascist people slowly manipulated and grew
Everyone.
power and power and power until everyone was like, this fascist idea is great.
Yeah, that's amazing.
So,
That's amazing.
Huh.
Okay.
So my social deduction
Still
game,
sounds hard.
it's not.
My social deduction game is Spyfall.
Spyfall.
Spyfall. See, now this sounds fun.
So
Secrets.
Sounds way more fun than Hitler. Go ahead, Spyfall.
all right, so my game is just like a card game. You just deal out a card, and it tells you if you're. It like shows you a location. So it could be like a cruise ship, and everyone has the same location, that cruise ship, but one person gets the card and it says spy, and it doesn't show them the location. And then so you keep that location secret, and the game is based off of a simple just ask any question. So you just look at, hey Rob, what time of day is it? And then he'll answer me. He'll be like, oh, it's about midday or something like that. And you just keep asking questions, and the spy either needs to figure out where you guys are based off of those questions, or the people need to figure out who the spy is. So
now the answers you're giving, are they on your cards?
No.
Okay.
It's
You
completely
just make
in your
it
head.
up. Okay.
So you can be as creative as you want. You can be as abstract as you want. Like if you're the spy, you don't know where you are, so you're going to be pretty abstract.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, I know like
But
we
you
played,
gotta not sound like you're the spy.
yeah.
Right.
Like I know I played one game, where we all busted out laughing because we were on the moon and somebody asked how the weather was, and they're like, "Oh, well, whenever the wind blows, it's a little cold." And it's like, you're the freaking spy.
Yeah. There's no wind on the moon.
God.
Or something like that, where you just like, and as the spy, you'll sit there and laugh, and you'll be like, damn it, I didn't realize we're on the moon. That was a horrible answer.
Yeah.
So can you make a guess at any point?
You can make a guess at any point. If you guess wrong, though, then the spy wins.
Okay.
So,
Is that the same in yours too?
If I guess.
Or yours, do you have to wait until the end to see?
So in ours, there's different mechanics. So the liberals are trying to either pass 5 liberal policies or assassinate Hitler.
Okay.
Fascists are trying to get Hitler elected
Right.
or pass 4 fascist policies.
Okay.
So
But yours, you can guess and be like,
Yeah.
I think you're the spy.
yeah, and mine, each round consists of maybe like 5 minutes worth of gameplay.
Yeah.
And then you can play another round, that kind
Yeah,
of thing.
yeah.
And each time it's just a different location and that kind of thing. But this game, like, you can just sit there and have fun with your questions, You can be like, on the beach, is your location. You can be like, what are you drinking? And someone can, like, get creative with their
Right.
drink or that kind of thing.
Piss.
So,
Oh.
well, I don't have
Like
my
a
beach
blue
days,
mamba.
that was
Way better.
that was your first choice?
Right.
Piss?
Yeah, are you on a desert island?
thought
A
we were
deserted
like-
island?
Like Bear Grylls,
Like,
we were
come
surviving.
on.
Man.
I'm going to just take a guess at who the spy is.
Yeah, right? You would be the spy.
Yeah, so as like the people who aren't the spy, you're trying not to give away too much information.
Right.
So if we're on the cruise ship, I want to be like, oh, it's a nice tropical sunny day.
Right.
Because then the spy is like, okay.
Okay.
That cuts out the construction site. That
Right.
cuts out the moon.
The other places.
Right, you want to be kind of obscure.
Yeah, you want to give enough information that the people who
Ambiguous.
know where you're at can be like, okay, I get it.
Right.
Whereas the spy would be like,
What the hell?
that could be anywhere.
Right.
Secrets.
That could be the beach in Chatfield.
Yeah.
And you are drinking
drinking
pee
pee
there.
So I know, like, this game, I've taught it to a lot of drunk people and that kind of thing, and it's just gone over pretty well for me.
Well, yeah, I could see that would be fun and kind of easier.
This game, though, it does have the possibility, though, of being a flop every now and then, just because if someone, like Rob says, doesn't know how to lie or that kind of thing.
Right.
This game, it definitely comes into place more. Or if, like, it's your first time playing and you're the spy, that's kind
Harder.
of that's a rocky start.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
okay.
Or if you're the spy and they ask you the first question.
Yeah.
So you have
Yeah, if you're
zero
not
information
good.
to go off of it. And so you have to
And
be
you're
as
just
vague
like,
as possible.
Blue.
Yeah. Because you could be like, what time is it? Be like, I don't know, I've been inside all day. Or like, what's the weather like? I don't know, I've been inside all day.
Yeah.
If it's a cruise ship, you probably
you
alienate
couldn't-
yourself.
right.
But the other ones where you're like in a hotel or stuff like that.
Then it's
So you
like,
just have to
okay.
kind of take a chance and be kind of vague, but give them enough information to try to blend in.
What is the first game you started with? When you you jumped.
You jumped.
You jumped from
Hasbro.
yeah. To you don't want to say more real games, but kind of more real games. Like
That next.
there's more into it.
Yeah, that next level.
Yeah.
My first one would be Catan or Small Worlds.
Okay.
Those were the two that kind of like,
Launched you in.
yeah.
And did you stumble onto those? Someone introduced you?
Catan I got introduced in college.
Okay.
That's when I started playing Catan. That was a thing. Every house party you go to, there'd be a game of Catan somewhere.
What is Catan?
Catan is we had trouble figuring out where to place this one. I think it's like a resource management game slash territory control.
Yeah, okay.
So basically you...
Is it got another name? Something of Catan?
Catan, Settlers of
Settlers.
Catan.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
That's the one.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's the one. That's the one that the youth kids would always play.
Yeah.
Settlers of Catan.
Yeah, where you kind of own different territories.
Yeah.
And then you roll the dice, and depending on where you own, you get different resources.
Right. Gotcha.
To me,
as this game has like progressed more, they just kind of dropped the Settlers of Catan
Okay.
and just named it Catan.
But like we'll say 10 years ago,
yeah.
yeah.
it was Settlers of Catan. And did it have the board, like the octagon board?
Yep.
Yes.
you
Okay.
go.
That's
This
the
it?
one.
This
Yep.
one?
Yes.
That's the one. Yeah.
Yes.
So
This one. That's
this
what
one
it
here.
looked like.
So yeah, this is like for
I don't
I'd
remember
say
that at
maybe
all.
I'd say for maybe like 80 or 90% of board gamers, this is the game that got them into
This is
it.
the gateway game.
Yeah.
Oh,
you
it
know?
is.
And then all of a sudden you just have this horrible habit and you're just finding your dealer.
Well, they
gaming
love
goat or
this
whatever.
game.
Goat. Goat.
Yeah.
Hey man, you got any of that new stuff?
Yeah, exactly. I need a new game.
What's up with dice, man?
I've
I need
already
some
learned
dice.
this one. Okay. Well, what about you? What was your first game?
So my first game was
Interesting.
Dominion.
Dominion.
Yeah.
And you still like that?
I still like it. Yeah. It's a very like simple game. Like I said, like when my friends are showing it to me, they're like, "You only have to learn 8 cards."
Yeah.
Like once you know how to play the game, then each game you only need to learn 8 cards.
That's how we try to teach people to play Farkle. You only need a 1 or a
cards.
5.
Yeah, that's it.
You only need a 1 or a 5 to stay alive. Other
Yep.
than that, you don't get that, you're dead. You know?
yeah.
And
Farkle's pretty fun.
It's fun.
yeah, so for me, like, I played this game. I just liked how fast it was. You know, eventually you're just like, you know, everyone is just taking like 30 seconds. They're like, I already, like, they grab their hand. They're like, I know what I'm doing.
Awesome. Did you
Yeah.
ever play Speed?
Yeah.
You know, just with the regular card deck, it's kind of like that. You get to the point where you're just like, no, I know what you're gonna sit down. I got it. Yeah, okay, I like that. That's fun.
yeah.
Okay.
So,
Anyways,
and then-
I just wanted to see what got you guys into it.
Yeah, I'd say it was either Dominion or very closely Pandemic.
Pandemic.
One of those two, which,
Heard of that.
spoiler alert, I might talk about later. So.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead. You move on to your next category.
So Catan's what got me into it, but now that I've gotten into these other games, Catan's boring to me.
Sure.
But if you like Catan, I could show you a world of games that you're gonna
Sure. Well, like any, right? I mean,
love. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
well, maybe though, because like I'm really, I don't like board games. I don't like playing games.
Just don't like it.
I don't like to sit down, but those are the only games I know. I only know Life and Monopoly and,
Right.
you know what I mean, all of those things. So that's why I play Farkle, because it's like, okay, this is a fun game.
Because it's fast paced.
And it's fast paced, and you can do it while you're drinking. Everyone's having a good time. You know what I mean? And all the other board games, it's just like, God, you've played this game 900 times. That's why you're going to win. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know how to cheat every area in this game. That's why you're going to win. So then I don't want to play with you.
Yeah, that's when I went through all like the weaknesses of the different types of games, and that's why that came up a lot. Is
Yeah.
advantage of people who've played before.
Right.
For me, I'm always sitting there like, you could play that card, but you should probably play this
this
card
card.
first, because then it's going to double your
Right.
points later.
You have the
Yeah.
advantage of experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
We're not going to tell you that because we're going to let you discover the game yourself.
Right.
Like, we don't want to play the game for you.
No,
Right.
and you discover your own strengths and weaknesses, right, in playing those
I've
games.
discovered my weaknesses. Still looking for those strikes.
You haven't given up. That's a good thing.
They're out there.
But you said Farkle. You like Farkle. That's going to go into our dice game category.
Okay.
So for dice games, the weaknesses we decided were chance and luck.
Okay.
It's all about what all comes out of the dice.
Well, that's like what we tell everybody. You're never winning. You're just ahead.
Yeah.
You know it, because it's only chance and luck of the whole game.
So that's the weakness, is that like requires a little bit of skill, but mostly it's chance and luck.
Yeah.
The strength on the other side is also chance and luck.
Right.
So like just because I've played 100 times doesn't mean that like I'm going to beat you this time,
Right.
because
Advantage.
it's chance and luck.
Okay,
Right.
I like that.
Which a lot of people like. A lot of new gamers like. I despise.
Yeah. Really?
Despise.
You do?
Well, yeah, he
well-
likes having his
Well,
experience.
his strategy.
Yeah, because I like the strategy. I like knowing that the moves I made won me the game.
Right.
Rather than the dice I rolled won me the
Right.
game.
Yeah, no, I like the chance and luck.
The chance. A lot of people do. So that's why my dice game is Dice Forge.
Dice Forge.
Dice Forge. So it has that chance, it has that luck in it, but you also you have 2 dice.
Okay.
And each side of the dice pops off, and you can upgrade that side of the dice. So to keep this in simplicity's sakes, instead of having a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on my dice, I could now do 2 sides are 6s. So the chances of me rolling a 6 are higher.
greater.
Granted that what's on your dice in this game are different. It's like coins and jewels and victory points. So you upgrade those so you can mitigate your chances
You get more points.
by
Yeah.
You could be
increasing
like,
your dice.
Yeah.
I suck at rolling, so I want to make everything I roll be okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. You
So-
want all jewels or whatever the highest thing is on your dice, so you have the chance of rolling that more.
Yeah. So Chris, we call bogling because he is horrible at rolling. If all we need from him is to roll a 2, he's going to roll a 1. He's just got
I got that one down.
That's funny.
yeah, he's got that kind of luck.
Right.
So this game allows him to change his odds by
Right.
getting rid of that 1 and
By
changing
rolling
it.
2 ones.
So that's why I like that one. Is it gives my level of like strategy, but at the same point, if I like upgraded that side of the dice and it never pops up once in the game,
And you're
there's
like,
still the
oh,
chance.
Yeah.
So I can strategize to try to mitigate
Make
the
it
dice
happen.
roll
Yeah.
compared to just rolling plain dice.
Yeah.
So, but a lot of my friends love the dice games because it's all strategy. It's all luck.
It's all luck.
Yeah.
Totally.
I feel
That's
like
why
it's
it.
energy. If you're in a bad mood, you're gonna roll bad.
Totally. I can get
You know?
mojo on my dice,
Right.
rub them on my junk. Yeah, stuff like that. That helps.
Yeah. So
You think?
It does.
You only when you rub them on me.
Well, yeah, you're the luck giver.
All right, I like that. I like that.
For my dice game, I have Run, Fight, or Die.
Run, fight, or die.
Is that like marry, kill?
Or fuck.
Yeah.
Kind of
Not
sounds
quite.
like it, yeah.
it's that, but with zombies.
Oh,
So
zombie.
you choose
Oh,
which zombie you want to marry, kill, or fuck.
Tina Belcher style. Zombie.
Right? Leave my lips free.
Throw some horses in there.
So this game you have, it's kind of more like Yahtzee style.
Okay.
You roll, I think it's 5 or 6 dice. I can't remember what. But you can like keep some and then re-roll others, that kind of thing. And depending on what you get for the dice is depending on what you can do.
Okay.
In front of you, you have a board with you'll have a board
There you
with
go.
zombies that are advancing towards you, and there's 3 zones to this board. So, like, if you get bats, you can, knock out some of the zombies that are in zone 1.
Okay.
If you get a gun, then you can shoot some of those zombies that are in zone 2 or zone 3. And each game, those zombies just keep advancing.
Because they're coming for you.
And pretty much you just play this game until somebody dies, or there's like a mutant zombie. If someone kills that thing, the game may end. But what's really great about this game, I think, is we've had so many times where we've just looked over and someone is just like has 3/4 of the freaking zombies on their board. And they're like, I am dead. And then they somehow pull out with it,
And
you know?
they win.
They,
or
like,
they don't
somehow
die
they're
right away.
like, oh, if I do this, this, and this, all of a sudden, I've used a lawnmower to kill 15 zombies. And,
Shredded them, sending them to my zone.
Yeah, and I'm safe for another round.
Okay. And that's
and-
dice too. But
Yeah.
you have a board, you have zombies that move.
Yep.
Okay.
And
That'd be kind of fun.
and then like what I also like is you can also recruit like companions.
Okay.
But it's the luck of the draw.
Oh, so you don't know.
So
who you're
you
gonna
could get the war veteran, and he's like, screw these zombies, I got this, and like he'll kill a zombie every round for you. Or you could get a screaming cheerleader that just attracts zombies, and you're
Yeah,
like, I need this bitch gone. And so you send zombies there to purposely kill her off.
She is tanking us. That's funny. Yeah, that would be fun.
Yeah, that one's a really fun one. It's very lighthearted. It's quick.
Yeah.
And it's a great,
Yeah.
like, we played that one probably every day during Halloween.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, yeah.
you know, it's a
Yeah,
great
especially
themed
then.
one, so.
That would be great. I
Yeah.
just thought, how fun it would be that, like, kids come to your house to trick or treat, and you're like, make a game, roll this dice.
Nice.
Right.
Roll
Roll
those
Either
dice.
dice.
you get candy
Yeah, right.
or a zombie's gonna pop out this
Right,
door
exactly. That's
and
awesome.
chase your ass down the street. That'd be fun.
Right.
You could pay for that.
Yeah, right. We could do like a spin wheel of like, do you want a king size bar? You
Right.
can spin the wheel for it.
Yes.
But you might be chased by
By
a
a
zombie.
zombie.
Or you can just have this small little thing of nerds.
Right. It's your choice.
Your choice.
What is
And
it?
they're like, oh, right, zombies, whatever. And then they spin and get the zombies. And then just someone comes running out of the way. I'm sorry. Just blood crawling.
The best part is the zombies only quick in the beginning, and then it takes them a while.
Yeah.
Oh, they slow down. Then they go more.
They run out of that brain juice.
Yeah, exactly. That would be fun. Huh. That one sounds fun too.
Yeah.
But those are more dice games.
Yep. So those ones, the main mechanic of the game is going to be dice rolling.
Okay.
That next one, let's go on to co-op. That one's been slowly building.
Co-op.
Co-op. So instead of me versus you, it's us versus the board.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
that sounds kind of neat.
Yeah. So it's going to go against Sean where he wants to like win and dominate
Yeah.
everybody. But instead of like, because we have a lot of games where we're like, we have a winner.
You can
and
dominate the board.
Dominate the
Yeah, you
board.
can dominate
That
the board with
might
us.
be
Yeah.
it.
Just buy your own copy first.
Don't dominate my
It doesn't
board.
fold, does it?
Sometimes it folds.
Well, we'll keep it flat.
But yeah, it's a fun one because a lot of our games, it's one winner.
Right.
And after a while, if no one's like some people aren't winning, they get discouraged and start to like
They
lose
lose interest, yeah.
So co-ops are really nice because you either lose or win together.
Yeah.
Which is great.
Yeah. And it makes you work harder almost.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
Because you have
fun.
a team that you want to have win. And so it's like, okay, let's make it happen.
Yeah. The issue that comes up with this one is called alpha gamers.
Oh.
Those are going to be.
It just doesn't even sound good.
No.
Those are
Yeah.
the bullies
sound
of the
irritating.
gaming world.
Yeah,
Because
it's-
they know.
It's just the people that like have played the game and know how it goes.
Yeah.
You know.
Right.
If
For
you
me,
want to win this
yeah.
game, you better go over there.
Yeah.
For me, this is the hardest part about playing co-op games I've played because I'm like, you don't.
Yeah,
don't.
because you know you're
don't
an
do
alpha
that.
gamer.
But I want you to like make that mistake, and
Yeah.
next time you learn.
Yeah.
I had one where some guy like we had like a 1% chance of winning, and all he had to do was move 2 movements, and we were good. Instead, he was like, "No, I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to sit back."
What?
And it like slowly narrowed out on us.
Oh.
And then on his next turn, he happened to pull like a helicopter lift and got us out of the bad situation, and we won.
Oh.
So that was a fun one because it was like like
But in
every
your
bone
mind,
in
you're
my
like,
body
"We're
was
gonna
screaming
lose."
like,
yeah,
"You just cost us the game," and it still worked out. You know, so
Yeah.
it's just that fun, like letting people learn.
Yeah,
So,
that's fun. I don't know. It would be hard too, especially if you already know. Then you're like, get off my team. I don't want you
Yeah,
on
no
my
doubt.
team anymore.
So that's the hardest thing about co-ops is that a lot of times you have that alpha player who take over
Yeah.
and run the game,
Yeah.
and everyone else is just kind of watching.
Right.
And that sucks when that happens. That's why I hated Monopoly. There was that one person who always had all the good stuff and all the money, and there's every roll, I'm just in fucking jail. No, I got no money.
Every roll just keeps sending you back.
I'm a bitch to the warden. You know how many cigarettes I had to trade just to get out of jail in Monopoly?
A lot. You got to roll a lot of doubles.
To get cigarettes
You
in
do
Monopoly.
have to roll a lot of doubles.
A lot of doubles.
You don't want to know the things I had to do to get out of there.
We kept making him do them. We
Yeah,
kept
Shaina
telling
would
him,
just
you
be
didn't
like,
do that last time.
Yeah,
We better do that again. I don't remember that last. Have another drink. You didn't do it last time.
Right? I don't want to imagine the things Sean's done to because I know what he does on his free time for fun.
Yeah, exactly.
So, like, to be forced to do something.
Yeah,
is,
let alone to get out of prison.
Yeah.
No, I'm extreme. All right, what's next? What else you got? You gotta have something.
Yeah.
What games can you play nude?
All of them.
Excellent.
Yeah, all of
I
them.
would say all of them too.
Yeah. The social deduction ones might get
Spy.
tricky nude because you can just look at people's nipples, and nipples always tell you the truth.
Oh, you're lying.
Oh, you think so?
You know
Yeah.
how I can tell you're lying? Because
'Cause
your
your
right
nip-
one gets hard and your left one doesn't.
That's how you lie. I think scientists proved that.
Interesting. Really?
Yeah.
That there's
Yeah.
a nipple reaction when you lie.
Yes.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I am a superstar.
There's a pupil reaction, right?
But like,
In my butthole.
what if you're just always horny and they're both just upright?
Well,
Right.
we can't help you, Chris.
Well, we might. We should make up our own game.
That's a different game
We should
altogether.
make up our own game.
That's called the glory hole.
Everything swallow game. The glory hole you play alone.
Exactly.
That's just a two-person
That's
game.
a two-person game. Yeah.
It's you and a stranger.
And a shoebox
You never
lid.
know.
And the board always loses on that
board
one.
Always loses. And after a while, you got to throw that board away
Yeah.
and get a new one.
Yeah. Wow.
All I can think about is the Always Sun in Philadelphia where they make the glory hole and then they make the peep slop.
Yeah.
Like,
You
check
can
to
look
see who's on the other
through.
side.
Who's on the other
Just-
side?
Okay, you're fine.
That's why Sean's joke is always just a shoebox lid.
That's it.
I'm not looking.
I'm not looking. My homemade glory hole.
I'll
It's a
turn my
shoebox
head.
lid
Yeah.
I don't see who's over
and a
there.
blindfold.
And a blindfold.
All right. So that was that the next game?
Yeah, that was the next one. That was it, right there. Glory hole. That's a co-op game.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. It's made by Milton Bradley.
Yeah, right.
Yes. So my co-op game was Forbidden Island.
Ooh.
Yeah. So you basically
Sounds fun.
you've expeditioned to this island to retrieve these 4 mystical artifacts.
Okay.
However, as soon as you touch down on this island, it starts to sink. The water level keeps rising.
Rising.
And so as you're playing, parts of the board start
Disappear.
disappearing.
That's weird.
So you have chances to like
How do you do that in real life?
Yeah.
Like they're just, now you know that part is gone and you can't.
so the board is made up of tiles, kind
Okay.
of like Catan.
Okay.
Where you like it's a variety, and so you flip it over to one side and it becomes gray,
Okay.
and that means it's
Water.
underwater.
Yeah, okay.
So the water's risen there. If that card comes up again, you pull it off the board, and now there's just a void.
Now it's just gone.
Now it's just gone.
Yeah.
So now you have to work around that spot.
Okay.
So a lot of times you let the outer lands just slowly disappear because
You know.
all you need is the center part.
Yeah.
So it's all about like risk management and how much you want to risk. Like, can we go without losing that piece?
Right.
But as soon as you start losing pieces, the game starts to pick up
Right.
because the deck gets smaller.
Right.
and
Right, now
smaller.
that makes sense.
Right.
The gameplay
That would
gets
probably be a
smaller.
fun game.
Yeah. And so it like speeds up on you. So like at the beginning, it's like, oh, we got plenty of time to do this.
Right.
And all of a sudden it just like starts narrowing down and on you, and you're running out of spaces, and you have
Better make a decision.
And you have to get all 4 items and then get back to the helipad to get on
To
a
get out of
helicopter
there.
to get out of there.
Right.
And that's where I was telling you guys earlier that this guy made this move that I was like, you've just killed us. There's
Right.
no way that we can get to that helipad because we don't have that card.
Right.
And then he got a card to lift us all there, and then we lifted off and took off the island.
And you're like, you're lucky, buddy.
Yeah. Yeah. So that one's really fun. They have 3 different ones now. There's Forbidden Island, Forbidden Desert, and Forbidden Sky.
Yeah.
Forbidden Island's the starting one, and then you can go on from there because
Okay.
each one kind of changes and gets a little
Right.
bit more complicated.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah,
more
but do you
difficult.
need the first one
No.
to go, or can you just start at Forbidden Sky and then?
Until I met Rob, I never even played Forbidden Island, and Forbidden Desert was one of my favorite games.
Okay.
So like that was one of my entry level games was Forbidden Desert, and it's got a little bit more to it than Island, but just because like someone started me off with that one, that's how I started.
Yeah.
How long have you guys been playing these games?
2 years.
Well, Forbidden.
Us together,
no,
or
when you discovered these and started
These
like
types of games.
yeah.
So Forbidden Desert was in like that first year that I got into gaming. There
8
was,
years ago.
yeah.
Okay.
You were
about
11.
the same.
About the
Yeah.
same. Right. What were you guys in your 20s? 19?
Early 20s.
Early 20s.
College.
Yeah.
These were college games.
So Catan was.
What happened to quarters? Fucking. And
We still do those.
twist the titties. Remember that game?
They
It's
do
like
that
we-
at the same time.
Oh,
We started out with like, Forbidden Desert, Catan, that kind of thing, and then after like 4 drinks, then we went to quarters.
Okay. At least quarters was there.
So these are like games you want to like start sober and
Right.
finish drunk.
Drunk, sure.
They're
sure.
really hard to explain when
I
people
got
are
you.
already drunk.
Right,
Yeah, of
right,
course.
right. Unless you know how to play them.
Unless you know how to play,
Then
and
you
then
can
we
play
have some
whatever you
really
want.
great times.
Yeah.
like,
Because you have fun. So have you completed all these games you've played? Like start to finish?
what do you mean?
Well, like every time you play it, someone wins? Someone ends the game? I mean,
Yeah.
they seem like
Yeah.
longer
You finish.
games.
Yeah. There's been one time where I just looked at Chris and I was like, what do you want me to do? And he's like, roll the dice. I was like, I rolled the dice. And he's like, okay, you lost. I was like, okay, I'm going to bed. And I got up and I left before the
Right.
final score.
You're too drunk to finish.
yeah, 'cause I was
we've
just-
been
yeah,
there.
yeah.
We've all been there.
We've all had those moments.
Maybe not me, but you
I
guys probably.
think our other friend Drew fell asleep
Okay.
during one game. Just
Okay.
like
So
So that's the whole thing with board games for me. See, you're getting to the point. They go forever. Like, we can play a quick round of 10,000 on Farkle and be done and have a good time, and play another round even before we're too drunk to keep going. But when it comes to board games, sometimes I feel like they just go on and
I mean,
on
I think you have to know how the game is played.
we definitely run into that with us where like we'll sit there and we'll be like, all right, we could play this 3-hour game, or let's just play this 30-minute game.
Right.
Okay, yeah, exactly.
You know,
like,
and
let's
it's
play a
like-
game of cribbage and be done with it.
Yeah, like I go over to Rob's house and I'm like, all right, start of our game day. Let's knock out this 4-hour game that we want to play, because we know we're not going to want to do it at 10 o'clock.
Right.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. So most of our games that we've talked about are 45 minutes to an hour.
Okay.
So they're not
That's not
terribly
bad.
they're not terribly long. Once you go up to that like next level, you're getting into like 3-4 hour games.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just can't stay that connected
But, like,
for that
it's-
long.
So if you're getting into the hobby, like 3 to 4 hours, it sounds like forever. But if you enjoy these games, it goes by in a flash.
Well, that's what Ariel would say about Dungeons and Dragons. Like, she would go, okay, we're leaving at 6 o'clock at night. Okay, when are you going to be home? She's like, hopefully by 1. And I'm like,
Right.
what?
Yeah, they would play 7-8 hours.
And I tell her, you're not playing a game. What are you guys doing
Yeah,
over
you're
there? And she's like,
having
Mom,
some
we're
sort of
playing Dungeons and
thing.
Dragons. She's
Yeah.
like, you get there, you hang out for a while, and then you start playing. She's like, but depending on which way the game goes, you can be there quite a while. She's like, and people get heated. You know, like Gwen, I thought they were going to murder her in their last, what do you call it?
Well, listen,
story.
campaign.
if you've got a lot
Yeah.
of hit points, you can just tease people. I don't know. I'm trying to figure some shit out.
What?
I don't know.
I was trying to figure out where he was going with that
too.
one.
I'm like,
I don't
what are you
know.
talking
You gotta have lots of life and hit points, and then your sorcery
He's been
numbers.
off all day. He's thought he's been funny all day.
I have.
but He's
Shaina has
he's
not found me
been
funny at all. Oh, at work, everyone was laughing. That was hilarious. I get home, I'm fucking not funny at all. I was trying to think of someone not funny.
Yeah,
and all I
see,
could
and
think
you
of
got
was
nothing.
all
that
I could
find you
think of was
funny?
Carrot Top, and I didn't want to compare myself to Carrot Top.
Because ours getting similar though.
Hey.
That's funny. I just wonder, yeah. I don't know. I know it's a thing.
So for my co-op game, I have Pandemic. The game is a bunch of cities on like the world map, and there's like a virus that's spreading.
Coronavirus.
And you go around with like your characters, and like each city that you go to, you're trying to like cure up or cure the virus and that kind of thing.
Right.
And the virus is just represented by like little cubes on the board.
Sure, sure.
Finish it.
What's interesting about this game though is every round after you do everything, you flip over more cards and the virus spreads.
Ah.
But if a city has 3 or more cubes, then all of a sudden it does like this outbreak where
Okay.
it affects every city around it.
Okay. Which
So-
makes it instantly bigger.
Yeah, but like you can like sit there and all of a sudden have like a chain reaction where you're like, all right, well, LA just infected Houston and Houston infected New York, and then all of a sudden you're like, all right, we're doomed,
Yeah.
you know. And so this game, you got to work together and that kind of thing. But I play this game with a lot of people, and it's very like fun and thematic once you actually like succeed at the game and that kind of thing.
Yeah. Once you see it working. Mm-hmm. So, how long does it take you to learn a new game?
Depends on how long the YouTube video is.
I love that. That's perfect. Yes.
I'd say it's proportional to the length that the game's going to be.
Okay.
So if it's a 30-minute game, it's probably going to take you 5 minutes.
Okay.
If it's an hour game, it's probably going to take 10 to 20.
Right, because like the long games, there's just more stuff, right? More things to read, more cards, more options to play, more
Correct.
things to play.
Yes.
Now, is there room in these games to kind of like, okay, yeah, well, I think that means this, but we can play it like this. Do you know what I'm saying?
Interpretation.
Yeah, interpretation.
We call those house rules.
Okay.
Okay, that sounds good. I like house
so-
rules.
So,
House
like,
rules
if
are
you
very big.
if you go play at one of these game places, because like when you drive by this place over here, I think, oh man, it smells like sweaty boys in there because it's packed. It is packed with people. This one, the one by your house, I mean, they're just at a certain time of night, they're just full. House rules don't apply there. Those are just the rules of the game, unless like it's just your group, right?
Oh yeah, I
Yeah.
would think so. They're
So-
purists, I would think, at those places.
Yeah, so those places, when you're seeing it packed like that, it's probably a gathering.
They're meeting there to play.
Yeah, so they're
Magic
probably doing
gathering.
like, yeah.
Because their mom don't want them in the basement anymore.
Yeah. Or they're doing like a tournament,
And
and
they
they're
stink.
playing other people they've never played
Okay,
against.
that's what I'm
Oh,
saying.
okay.
Okay, so sometimes there's a tournament.
Yeah, so sometimes they have a tournament. So when you see a lot of people there, there's usually a tournament,
Okay.
or they have like themed nights.
Okay.
So like they might have a Gloomhaven night where like everyone who comes, they set up their own version of Gloomhaven, and you might play in your own group, but like everyone's playing the same game, so you can kind of talk and be like, oh, this is what we do in our game, stuff like that.
Now, do
so
they ever let strangers in? Like, you can just show up and be like, I can be like, hey, I'm Shaina and I want to play a game.
all the time.
Right, I just
I've-
bought this new game.
Yeah, I've
What if I don't
made.
even have a game?
You don't even have to. So I know Enchanted Grounds
Want
has
to go?
No.
Enchanted Grounds has
some
about
people?
100 games that they call their demo list. And you
Okay.
just ask, they're also a copy shop, so you just ask the person who's making your copy, hey, can I see the games that you loan out?
Yeah.
Oh, it's like when you go to the bar and you ask for house darts.
Yeah.
So you can throw darts.
Okay.
Same kind of thing. And so
Exactly.
you can just go.
Can I get the house Monopoly?
Yeah.
And then you just like give them an ID. They check to make sure it's real, and they're like, "All right, you can now go
Go-
Parkway."
Go play. Yeah.
Go buy Park.
So I've made a lot of friends that way. As I've just gone, I've had nothing to do, so I just go there and I start setting up my own game, like Forbidden Island. You can play that one player because it's you against the board.
Right.
So I'll just start doing that, and then someone will come over and be like, I love that game.
I want
was
to
like,
play. You want to play?
Jump in, take over this role.
Yeah.
Or I'll go there and I'll be like,
Want to touch my dice?
that. Yeah. I've never touched those dice.
Sean.
Wow.
Can I touch those dice?
Your dice have so many sides.
So shiny.
Your dice are slippery.
Aren't sticky.
I don't think I want to play with you anymore.
Never mind.
That's
I don't like
exactly
your
how
game.
I've imagined it. That's exactly how I have always imagined it to be. You just go in there, you kind of jump into a game or set your own game up, and people kind of just join in, and it's just a big game fest.
Well, that's fun, though.
Yeah, it's great.
Masculate
That's
game
what I told
fest.
Ariel to do. Is it just go in there and you can learn new games. You just go in and be like, what are you playing? And people will be like, oh, what? And explain it. You can watch them a little bit. Be like, hey, I want to try it. I want to play. And they'll be like, okay, you can play. I think that's how it would work, right? I mean, unless you're like, what did you call them earlier? The Dominators?
Alpha gamers.
Alpha
Alpha
gamers.
gamers.
Then they might be like, no.
But you're not
Well,
going
no,
to be
no, they'll bring you in. They're just going to make you do what
Murder
they,
you?
No, they just want. They're just going to make you do what
They
they
want.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're not going to be an alpha gamer for a game that you don't know how to play.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah.
Well, yeah, absolutely. No, you're not going to know anything until you learn it.
Yeah.
But how many times have you played a game before you feel like you're an alpha gamer in that game? A dozen? 3? Does it vary?
Well, it depends on some people. Some people are badass. I mean, it's like a video game. Some people can sit down at a video game.
We have a friend just
and
like
beat
that.
it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's going to be different for each person.
We have
Right?
a friend
I
like
mean,
that.
it's gonna be the
even
same
down
for-
to the stupid Facebook farming game, and I'm like, oh, I'm playing
Oh, yeah.
this game, and he's like, oh, I'm
Oh,
saying.
yeah.
And then he
I
comes
beat
back 2
that.
days later, he's like, oh yeah, that's how you beat that game.
I beat
was
that
like,
game.
Shut up.
So this kind of leads me into my questions because I had a couple questions. What are the best type of games for those like ourselves? We don't play board games. What's that board game down there? Grab that one.
We still haven't played
Yeah,
it.
we haven't played it yet. We have a board game. Look at Robert peeked
Yeah,
up.
let's-
It's like, oh,
let's go.
board game. Let's check
This
it out.
was gifted to us.
This was it's called Privacy.
We've only looked at it a little bit.
And it is a board, like a progression
Interesting.
game, but it's also a card. Look at you two. You're like,
Dissecting
You just
it.
put like a
I
pile
love
of crack
it.
on the table.
yeah,
and
you
it's
guys are
like,
ooh, a game I've never seen.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'll
they
just
sell
put
this one
here
at
if you want it.
Crystals. At Crystals at Pleasures, they sell privacy.
Do you have any secret tattoos?
I do. I have one. I do. It's just no fishing.
There may be a Hershey's Kiss somewhere on my body.
So do you have any? Privacy may not be the first game for people, but like, what should you look for as a starter
But
game?
now, let me ask you a question, though. Is this similar?
Yeah,
Because this
really.
isn't a typical board game anymore. This
So-
is a different kind of game
Yeah,
now.
this is there's a type
you know
of
what
game
I
called
mean?
like party games.
But do you know what I mean by similar? Because it's not your typical board game, and it's not just your typical, here's your 4 cards, here's your 4 cards. It is different, right? I mean, that's where the way games are going nowadays.
So like party games are great for people that don't like necessarily board game.
What's a party game?
Almost everyone knows what
This would be a
Cards
party
Against
game.
Humanity
Okay,
is.
okay,
And I
okay,
think
yeah.
this is
You know.
very similar, kind of the
To
same
that.
vein.
Yeah, Cards Against Humanity, that's a party game.
Cranium.
Cranium.
Relatives, Insanity, all of those
yeah.
are party games.
Games
Yeah.
that you can bring out that incorporate a lot of people, a lot of fun, simple rules, and just kind of just
Games where people can just sit there and like, oh, I'm too drunk, I'm going to just dip out now.
Right.
And the game can keep on going.
Keep going, right.
You know, that kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah, those are definitely like I don't think we have those in our categories
No.
of entry level games, but they
Well,
are.
this would still fall under like the Hasbro board game, don't you think? Like in that category.
I'd take this privacy game as a step up.
Okay. But
A lot of
not
This you can
Yeah,
play 10 people.
a lot of the Hasbro ones are roll and move.
okay.
Roll,
and move.
do this action.
yeah.
Whereas this one kind of breaks out and
That's a great description.
Yeah.
That's sorry is roll and move. I mean, all
more,
of those.
more rurudimentary.
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And like, there's great enjoyment in there.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
it's
have
so
one of my
enjoyable.
favorite games, which is 13th Dead End Drive, and it's like a mix between Clue and I don't even have another game, but you're
mystery.
Yeah, murder mystery. You're killing off people.
Yeah.
Mousetrap, maybe.
Mousetrap. Yeah. So you're moving around and triggering different things on the
to
board.
happen.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like
I feel
Chutes and
so
Ladders.
sad that I don't know these games.
Well,
I've been so judgmental.
I don't think you and I in our entire 20 years together has ever played a board game together.
Well, sure we did. We did with the children all the time. We played Clue. We played Monopoly. I mean, we played.
I watched you
never-
guys play
No,
Twister
we played-
several
yeah.
times.
Yeah, well, we played Twister with you, but I wasn't going to bring it up.
We didn't have a board or a spin dial.
Or even a game
No,
board for the floor. We just made it up.
Maybe Clue, but I don't remember any other. I never played Monopoly with the kids.
Oh, it's because you were always in bed.
Oh, yeah, I was drunk.
No.
No, I don't know.
Always so early.
Yeah, I don't know about Monopoly.
I mean, the
but
first time we
I
saw
just am not
Cards
a board
Against
gamer.
Humanity was our children.
we didn't.
I mean,
they
they
introduced us.
had a party here, like a New Year's party when they were in high school with all their friends,
Mm-hmm.
and had it, and we were like, "What in the hell are these kids doing?" Right? And then it was like, "Oh, this is fun. We see what it is. This is fun."
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
And
It took me a while to get it, and I felt like an old guy. Like I just didn't grasp.
but is
the
that because
concept.
you're not like fluent? You know what I
Fluent
mean? In gaming, because we
Yeah,
don't
maybe.
play games.
And then we got apples
I'm like
to
a
apples,
game Nazi.
and that helped me play Cards Against Humanity.
Yeah.
Oh, apples to apples. I forget about that game.
Yeah.
So old.
Apples
Someone
to
gave that
apples
to us.
is probably one of the original gateway games.
Yeah.
Like
Right.
that
Okay.
one.
It
that
really
one grabbed
is.
It
people.
was so
Okay.
different, and
Yeah.
it went that different way of gaming.
I mean,
than
I played
your
like
typical
apples
one.
to apples in high school. Thought it was hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
And then someone was like, if you like apples to apples, got Cards Against Humanity.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
You know, and you're like,
Right.
oh yeah, next
I'm
step
such
up,
a-
man.
I was 40
I'm
when
a
I
game
played.
Nazi.
What do you mean?
I just am a game Nazi. You know why? Because
You're,
we
you're
were always
Hitler on Secret Hitler?
maybe.
He's a
always-
fascist. I knew it.
I listen. I get it.
We always were in these groups with these people and these kids, and it was just like, it was never fun, right? Everyone just always fought. Someone was always better than
Yeah.
everybody else, which made it suck for everyone else playing the game. Like when you played, what was that, Parcheesi, and it
Fuck that game.
It was just like,
You ever play Parcheesi? Yeah, good.
I think
don't.
I've played
Fuck
it
that
once.
It's like a game of Sorry. It's like where Sorry came from because they had to soften it
'Cause
to
it was
make
so
Sorry.
brutal.
Because Parcheesi comes with sticks and
Parcheesi.
knives.
Sorry is the game that came after Parcheesi
Fuck
because they were
Parcheesi.
sorry for how beat up you got playing Parcheesi.
Parcheesi was it. Basically, it's the same thing. You roll dice and you move those little game pieces, and then the next person comes and moves your game piece back to the beginning, and then you roll dice and you move your game, and the next person moves that game piece to the beginning, and it's just this stupid ass game of fuck you.
He really
I
hates
hate
that
Parcheesi.
game.
Yeah, I never want to see that woman again.
I could see that in like some of our games. We have that like take this, take that aspect to
Right,
it. And
right.
there's some
Yeah.
moments where it's like, I don't want to do this to you,
Yeah,
but I got
Yeah.
to.
Right.
So fuck you.
Right.
Take
I'm
this.
taking- yeah.
that's
And
good
I'm
to hear,
going,
huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've definitely had a few moments where, like, after a game, we're like, all right, we need to play a co-op game.
We
Like,
need a group building game. Right, let's all hug.
trust fall.
We're friends, really.
So my new thing has been to take the group score and note that in the game. And so next time we play that game is to get a higher group score.
Right.
Because
That's good.
Yeah, I got tired
Very
of like
encouraging.
Yeah, I got tired of like
All the fighting.
all the fighting and whatnot, and I'm tired of the win-lose scenario.
I feel like you would be good at every game, Robert, that you play.
Yeah, you come across as that asshole. I mean, guy.
Yes. I am that ass
Chris,
guy.
is he that guy?
Ass guy.
That ass guy. Because I started keeping track of like the wins and the loses and the wins and loses. Like we had a stat sheet, and then like people just got like discouraged.
Yeah.
And then I was like, why? Like
It doesn't have to be that way.
it doesn't have to be that way.
Yeah.
I don't have to win every game.
Yeah.
But as long as I can make our group win
And have
over
fun.
the next time and have fun.
Why keep a stat sheet if
Well-
it doesn't matter?
Well, I see
Well,
why.
So it did matter, and then that's when like we realized that like the win rate was not proportional.
yeah, and maybe it
would matter
mattered
to me.
for all the right reasons, though, because you maybe understood why some people opted out of game night. And we're like, no, I'm not coming
Yeah.
tonight.
well, we
because
had, at least I think, we had a friend who sat there and, like, he always thought he was losing at games. And it's like, no, you actually win quite a few
Right.
games.
So then you
And
show
then we
him.
did that, and he was like,
Oh, I
oh,
am winning.
I am winning, you know, and
you
blah, blah, blah.
created a monster.
Yeah, and so it built him up because he's definitely not on our level of
Gaming.
gaming.
Yeah.
Like, as we explain the rules, he's like on his phone. He's like, I'll figure it out.
Yeah, he figures out as he plays. I own over 100 games. Chris is
Jeez.
probably over 200 games.
Yeah.
Drew owns probably 7 games.
And that's not-
5 of them were gifts from me
That's
to
what,
him.
that's what I was going to say. And
The
that's
other
not
two
like-
were for me.
Yeah.
Wow.
so,
That's awesome.
but I know it's not his like primary thing, but he still plays with us because it's a bonding thing. It's a social
Well, and he
thing.
obviously gets something out of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's why he keeps coming back. That's why he still has those 7 games.
He's also my
Right,
roommate,
exactly.
so he's
Oh,
stuck.
kind of
Yeah.
forced into it. Yeah.
So that's what we're doing on Tuesday. He's going to be part of it.
Is that the guy who threw up on our floor?
No,
No, it's not that guy.
that's different guy, different roommate.
Yeah.
That guy's karma's going to be bad.
He's banned.
Oh,
No
it
games over here.
doesn't-
Now, I want to talk about board games. Have you ever played with the Ouija board? That's a board game.
Yeah, yeah.
I have actually never played with a Ouija board.
You have? Did you win?
Secrets.
Tell us what happened.
That one, that game's, that one is also player manipulated. Because that one's really affected by an alpha gamer. And wherever you're going to, like, if someone wants to, like, push it, or if,
They're
like,
gonna
someone...
move the fob or whatever.
if someone doesn't truly believe in the game, they're going to force and push it. Or they're going to put enough pressure on their side that it can't move off of it. I do believe... I will never have a Ouija board in my house.
Yeah.
Because I just feel it opens a portal to stuff that I don't always want to accept in my house.
Energy you don't need.
Interesting.
Right.
Yeah.
Hell. That's right. Hell.
Because you can get some good stuff out of it, good energy. I think it's a game of groupthink.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah,
a group
agree.
energy game.
I
Interesting.
agree with that because, and I feel like in that game, whoever is the scaredest, their energy is the strongest, and
the
that's
weakest.
what it. No, it's the strongest. It has
No,
the weakest has the most scared power there,
yeah.
and that's what it begins to
The
feed.
weakest has the most strength.
Yeah, that's what it begins to feed because that's the person who's getting the most freaked out. You know what I
Interesting.
mean? And so then and everyone in the group sees that happening as well. And it's like, oh, what does that mean? What
it's
does
a
that
game of
mean? What does that mean?
manipulation.
Because then you're kind of feeding that negative energy.
Yeah.
I would never
Just
have
curious.
one either.
I would never have one. Yeah. No, just wondering because it's a board game.
I
It is.
played with a Ouija when I was a teenager and didn't sleep for 3 days. So, because some shit happened. I mean,
Because some alpha player manipulated
weird.
the board.
No, there was no alpha player. And it wasn't even what happened at that moment, but like residual that happened after that moment that I was like, this is
Interesting.
not for me.
Yep. No, I believe
for
we're
me.
all connected in energy. And so, like you were saying, if you have that
Right.
scared person, that scared emotion is going to encompass the room.
Absolutely.
And
It's
even-
infectious.
Yeah. Even if you're not feeling scared, that's going to trigger your energy a little
Yeah,
bit.
a little bit. And then you're like, huh.
Yeah.
Did you see that? I think I saw that. Oh, there's a cat. Oh, okay. Yeah, there's a cat here now. You know?
Yeah.
I don't own a cat.
That's why I like watching horror movies by myself, is that my energy can encompass the
Really?
room.
Right.
Yeah.
I watch a lot of horror movies by myself. Yeah.
Do you get invested in them, or do you just...
I do. I still do. Yeah, sometimes I'll watch horror movies standing up because I get so
That's the only way I can
whacked
watch
out
them.
of them. Because Shane and I
For
don't
like
watch scary
35
movies
seconds
together.
at a time. And I walk in and I watch it in front of the TV and then I walk away. And then I walk in and I watch it and then I walk away. And I walk in and I watch it and I walk away. Because I don't like them. You know what I mean? And so but that gives me time to like discern and be like, okay, it's just a movie and this is just makeup and this is just,
Yeah.
all of the things to control yourself, That's pretty fun.
Board games.
I'm really glad you guys came on and talked about this because, like I said, I'm a gaming Nazi. I'm just like, oh, you're playing games, no, I'm not coming.
Yeah,
Because
we do. We are anti-game.
I don't want to play the same stupid game
Yeah.
that you've played for the last 35 years.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? You know how I don't want to play that game. I don't want to play that. I don't want to play Pictionary with you. You're a fucking artist. Thank you. I'm not doing that. You better go. And so it's like I like to know that there's different things out there. You know what I mean? And some of the games you guys brought up tonight is like, oh yeah.
Well, and like I tell people at work and that kind of thing, I'm like, yeah, I play board games every Tuesday. And they're like, that sounds boring
Because
as
they're
hell.
thinking the same thing I'm thinking.
They're thinking I'm playing the same
You're
five
playing Monopoly,
Hasbro.
you're playing Clue,
Yeah.
you're playing Risk, Battleships, you know what I mean? You're playing all, and it's just like, you're playing Uno every day? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, and there's
what
there's
are
so
you
much more to
doing?
it.
Yeah, because they don't even know. I mean, you guys are young guys, and then I would even say a little bit older than you and younger know about all these new games. No, like Dungeons and Dragons. That was a game that Sean played as a teenager.
Yep.
And now it's back like in full force. I mean, people play it all the time. It's a huge
Well,
thing.
and you also brought up Catan. Like,
Yeah.
Catan is a huge one where like people play it and they don't even realize that it's kind of a gateway game to like many more.
More games. Better games.
Yeah.
I would say better games.
Like they play it while playing like Monopoly and everything. They're like, this game is so much better than anything else I've played, and they get addicted to it and that kind of thing.
Well, because it's not like Monopoly is only going to end one way.
With the table flipping over.
Yeah.
Yep.
Usually, and people getting mad at you and never talking again. As to where these other games, they can even kind of leave off. You know, like, okay, we're just going to leave this board here. And we're coming back tomorrow. And we're going to finish this and see who's going to win this. You know, and they're more strategy, you know, more planning and more like, okay, what is the fun in this game? As to where the old games, it's just really to almost feels like to cause a fight.
Right.
Yeah, the old games, there's the only way you enjoy the game is if you're a winner.
Right. Now, I'm sure you guys have played games with people and have been like, I'm never playing with you again.
Yeah.
I've had a few of those people. Yeah.
Because you just bring them in and it's like, this is supposed to be. Like, we're playing the easiest, funnest game tonight. And you're sucking all the life out of it. Or they're so dominating and they're so, I'm going to win. And it's like,
I mean, to go back to a point that Rob made earlier is I've always been the kind of person where I enjoy a game just to play it. I don't enjoy it to, like, win it necessarily.
Yeah.
Winning it can add more fun, for sure. But, like, I've played with those people where if they're not winning, they pout and that kind of thing. You know?
Right. And they get mad.
And Rob can even testify, like, we've all had those days when I'm just like, I have sucked so hard today. I have lost 6 games. I've lost them horribly. You know, and I've gotten upset myself.
6 games.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, like, we play Farkle with our neighbor, and he loses one, and he's like, oh, I'm losing this whole thing. And it's like, well, now you are. You know, now you just changed your whole energy, and you are going to lose
your
this
vibe
the
attracts
whole
your
time.
tribe.
Yeah, and it's like, well, stop that. Well, how are you winning? I'm not listening to you. You know?
Right?
That's how I'm
No, because I'm listening to you because I know you're going to lose.
Yes, and
That
so
means I'm probably
gonna
gonna
win.
win.
And but it's not fun, you know, because then you're watching them over there kind of pout,
Yeah.
and it's like,
I mean, like, it's happened to every board gamer, I think, and all that. But, you know, you got to, at some point, just realize, like, you got to have fun just playing the game.
right, be in the moment.
Yeah.
Right?
A lot of the games have different characters or different roles.
Right.
Yeah.
And so sometimes our game that's supposed to take 45 minutes takes an hour and a half because now I'm the engineer. So I'm like, we could do that, but that would mess with the structure of the system.
Because you know more.
And so we try to take on those roles, and that's where fun comes out of the game. Rather than just like playing to win, it's like, what can I come up with this game?
Yeah.
Like,
Absolutely. What can we do different with this game?
yeah,
You
just
know?
like adding in your own vibe into the game.
Yeah.
And hopefully with, like, the list that we've given today, like, if you don't have fun with games unless you're winning or something, you can try some of these other games that we've talked about. You can try a social deduction game where there isn't really necessarily a winner. It's more just you're trying to get away with something. Or you can try a co-op game where it's you versus the board or that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And you can play with how many people do you guys have at game night?
3 to 4.
3 to 4.
Always?
Not always. For a lot of the games that we've talked about today, other than the social deduction games, it's about 3 to 4.
Okay.
Games usually function well at 3 to 4.
Okay.
But I mean, I have games that go up to 20 people.
Right.
I have a game that goes up to 36 people.
What game is that?
That's 7 Deadly Sins.
Okay.
But at that point, we're teaming up.
Yeah.
And you now have like 7 people versus 7 people.
Or, I mean,
Now, would
like,
you suggest in a situation like that, everyone kind of knows how to play that game?
Uh,
Or can you...
the bigger number, the less information you typically have to have about the game.
Oh, okay.
Is what I've found. You need to have like 3 to 4 people who've probably played that can like
Guide the team.
yeah
Like, imagine, like, Cards Against Humanity.
Right.
You pull that out and you're like, we're going to play this. You don't need to sit down with the people who have never played.
Right.
And explain to them. You'll just be like, all right, we'll just put down a black card. By the time it gets to you, you'll know how to play.
You'll know how to play it, yeah. That's kind of how Farkle is, I feel like. It's like, just watch it. You can explain it to death, but if you just watch it, it's just going to do and go. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. That's fun.
I would say
know.
that I'd like for anyone who's interested in gaming, even the slightest. If you found one game that you like, I can find another game that you like.
Right.
And you don't
And
you don't need to go all the way to these 3-hour games.
Right.
If you have fun playing Monopoly, play Monopoly.
Right. Just play something.
Yeah, just play something. But if, like you said, you liked Farkle,
Yeah.
I was like, all right, here's Run, Fight, or
yeah.
Die.
Right.
Here's Dice Forge. Here's
Right.
dice-based games
that will fall in that category where you can go in and pick them up easy because you're already playing those kind of games.
Exactly.
And especially like coming into like the technology age and that kind of thing, you know,
Right.
it's
different, right?
it's different, you know, like
It's different playing a game.
when you hang out with friends
Yeah.
and you're playing a game, even if it is Monopoly or something like that, you can bond so much more over it than you can bond over like a movie.
Right.
Yeah.
You know,
Or playing a game on your phone.
Well,
You're now in this room with this person, and you just screwed me.
yeah,
Right.
You just screwed me. I want to punch you in the face. How do I deal with that?
In the game. How do I punch you in the face of the game?
Yeah. And so, like, you just gotta like learn some social etiquette.
Yeah.
What do you guys feel about? How do you guys feel about digital games like You Don't Know Jack, or those types of games where you're on
Have
your
you ever
phone?
played that?
And now we had some friends. We'd go to their house, and they had this thing. We'd log on with our phone, right?
We started with You Don't Know Jack with this one friend years ago playing on the computer.
And
You Don't
he's
Know
a
Jack.
gamer, and
He's
and
huge. Well, video gamer
compared to us.
And then we don't talk to him for years and years and years. And then we meet up with him years later, and he's like, "Okay, so I found You Don't Know Jack, but it was, but it wasn't, right?
It's like the new version.
Yeah,
The
new
Jack packs.
Yes, you know what I mean.
Exactly right. We go over and play with his wife,
And then
you have to
now
get
you're on your phone, and you're voting on your phone, and you're doing all this stuff
and
like
it's
that on
super
your phone.
competitive because it's all like 3, 2. It's very visually
Yeah.
stimulating.
so I know,
Where do
like,
those fall?
so for me, at least for those games, I still think those fall into the category of like being with people and being in the moment.
Right.
Like, sure, there's electronics involved, but I'm not constantly on the electronic.
Right.
Like, I
Not
sit
paying
there,
attention to them at all.
yeah,
You
like
just get
I
on vote.
type in my response.
Yeah.
Or hit
and
the-
then
select the correct spot.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and then all of a sudden, like, then I'm with my friends and we're all laughing at the choices that
Yeah.
pop up on the screen.
And watching who made what decisions.
And then
or-
like after the round, like you're like, oh, you're the stupid,
Yeah, yeah. I knew
you know, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's like a bonding moment.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, it there is a fine line between like electronics and that kind of thing, but with that specific example, I found I still get that feeling that like I'm hanging out with people.
Right.
So it doesn't degrade the gaming aspects of it just because it's a digital game.
Now, do
because
you-
that was fun.
Do you guys game online?
Oh, another great question. Are you controller gamers? Like, choo A1, X9, 4, Xbox. Choo,
Right.
1, 2.
I play video games and that kind of thing. I don't necessarily play online just because I suck.
Then you're
I
just
get
playing the game for yourself.
That's why
Yeah, I love playing
Yeah.
games by myself, but then like I play like a shooter game online. I'm like, I've been in this for 30 seconds and someone has already headshot me.
Right.
Like, what the hell?
Right.
And yeah, it's like I
Takes
can
some of
I
the
can
fun
I
out
can
of it.
still have enjoyment playing, but it's like I'm not gonna invest this much time to be this good at this game.
Right.
Yeah.
Because it's so much, right? When
Yeah.
you can be better at a game with people right in front of you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree with Chris is that for online gaming is not my forte. Because I get in there and I'm like, okay, I did really good in the campaign, solo mode, and I go out there and I'm like, all right, now they're not going as I predict they're going to go,
Right.
and I'm dead, and it's no fun.
Right.
You-
It's kind of a different mentality.
Different mentality, and there's definitely a lot more bullying on there. Because
yes.
Okay, I was going to get into that. Has online gaming changed the way that kids interact with each other's society?
Yeah.
wise? You know, society. You know what I mean? Interacting.
Well, they're mean.
yeah.
They're mean on there because, like,
Yeah.
my
don't have a
son,
face.
Because you can be
You
so
have no face.
degrading and mean on that game, and then
well,
it
our
translates to your
son
daily
always
life.
had an Xbox, always wanted to be online, and so then it was like, okay, when he was younger, okay, here you go. You can do it because you have no idea. As a parent, you have no idea. You think it's going to be okay, and then you hear them, fuck you, blah, 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 and then you go and you're like, what in the hell?
Yeah, no
They're
doubt.
fighting with somebody they can't even see. So then it was like, okay, no more online gaming. If you want to play that game, you play it for yourself. You just play it.
Yeah.
And so then as he got older, of course, then it's like, oh, you want that? You pay for it yourself. And then he did, and then he just stopped. And it was like, well, like, you've worked so hard. You know, you've wanted to play that with us. And he's like, they're just assholes. They're just assholes. But it was because I feel like I took that away, and he got a different perspective And it was like, all right, yeah, they are just bullying and being mean and being
like,
nasty.
I want to be friends with somebody first before I'm an asshole to them.
Right. Well, because you don't always mean it in that assholery way, right? I
Yeah.
mean, sometimes you're just playing a game and it is just the luck of the draw.
Sometimes it's fun to like poke and prod at somebody. Like, I know my friend's weaknesses and
Right.
strengths. So,
And
like,
I know what's going to get them.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's like to push those buttons, but for them to know that I don't actually mean
Mean
it.
it, right.
Yeah.
And they don't know
Right.
that because they're not seeing you. They don't know you face to face. They don't know you in real
And all
life.
they have to do is sign off, and it's just done, and
Yeah.
you're gone.
I just was verbally assaulted by that guy and now he's gone.
Yeah.
You know?
Now, how do you process that?
Yeah,
Yeah,
right. That's
exactly.
what I'm saying. Then you're just like,
I feel hurt and offended when I'm on my phone playing my racing game, and I just know there's other people in there that are real people, and they beat me. I'm like, I hate that guy. I'm so glad he can't talk to me. You know what I mean?
Right?
So, yeah, I kicked your ass, mofo.
right.
So
Right.
I just was curious. I think it has changed the way kids
But
interact with each other.
I will say that I do think this new era of gaming, which we're talking about today, is changing gaming in the future. I feel like it is bringing it offline and more community, more people face to face. That's why when you see these little shops popping up in your grocery store shopette, you're like, yeah, okay, great. That's a place for them to go and meet people and have camaraderie
Yeah.
and build relationships, healthy relationships,
That's a
not
great point.
just online
Instead of in their
bullying
room.
relationships.
I've seen a lot of people that have been like in gaming and all that, and they've like stepped away from like, let's say like Call of Duty, something where there's a
Right.
lot of like backlash, and they played something as simple as like Rocket League, where there's a lot of like support and that kind of thing. And I've seen that, and then I've seen them also take that same idea, like you said, and be interested in board games because of that.
Right.
You
Well, they
know?
liked the game.
That's
Yeah,
more
they
interactive.
like the support. They like the whole idea of, hey, you're getting better,
Right.
and someone acknowledging that, and then they
Right.
like are more motivated to keep getting better.
Yeah, right. Well, it's more supportive, right? Yeah, and not just bullying and
Where,
beating
like,
down.
If you play like a shooting game or something, and then someone puts you down, it can like close you off from like wanting to do better.
It's either going to make you not want to play with them or it's going to make you want to murder them the next time you play the game. No, really, right?
Well,
like,
it's gonna create
Yeah.
resentment
Yeah.
and hatred.
which is hatred.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So, are there shoot 'em up kind of games, like board games?
There's a few. We didn't
What?
have.
Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like that same
Yeah,
kind of Call of Duty.
So we didn't.
Would that be like a war game, a board game?
We didn't really have this on our list, but there's like.
It's okay. You can go off list, Chris.
Let's go off
Robert
list.
left the room. You can do it, bro.
What was my name again? So some of the games are like, there's one where like you go around, you grab these guns, and then you load them and that kind of thing, and then you just shoot other people, and
Okay.
then they die, come back. So it's the
this a
video
board game, or-
yeah,
Yeah.
but it's a video game, but kind of in a board game
Form.
kind of form.
Oh.
Okay.
Or there's wizards casting spells at each other. Same
Okay.
same idea, just in board game form.
Right.
Okay. Now I know
I feel
that
like wizards are way
that's
less
since you
offensive than
mentioned
guns.
wizards, because I know that Robert, you're a Harry Potter fan,
Oh, yeah.
and you do Harry Potter themed parties and all that stuff. Are there Harry Potter themed board games?
Yes.
Okay, and
And they're
have you
expensive.
played them all?
Do you have them?
So my old roommate, John, he bought
Is he
all
an
of them.
older man, or is
No.
he just a
He's an
former?
old roommate.
Former roommate.
Okay, just curious where your
Former
relationship
roommate.
was.
He's also my best friend of, what are we going on, 20? No,
Oh, he
30,
sounds
So, like, your whole life?
30 years, yeah.
He sounds nice.
Yeah. You've met him a couple
I know.
times. Yeah. He's the true Harry Potter fan.
Okay.
So before I even know a game's about Harry Potter, he's already bought it.
Right.
He's already got it.
Right.
So he's got all of them. There's a couple different ones. One of the best ones is like a dueling game where you're
Ah.
throwing like spells at each other back
Okay.
and forth.
Right, because then you like, oh, I have this spell and it's going to take you, and then, oh, well, I have this spell and it
Yeah.
counteracts your spell, and
Do you do that through cards? Is that the mechanism of spell
oh,
casting?
like, because I'm
Yeah.
throwing
Yeah.
it right at you. Oh,
Shane is
look at
like-
my orb.
Shane is like, land of Vaxel of power.
My by the power of Grayskull.
right?
So those things are called like IPs, and they'll like put them on games, you know, that kind of thing. Like, oh, this is based off of this movie, and they used to be, for the most part, absolutely horrible.
Right.
But like Harry Potter and that kind of thing, they've actually gotten some really good IPs. So you can actually buy a board game.
What does IP
like,
stand for?
no idea.
Okay.
Okay, that's okay.
Intellectual
That's-
production,
Okay.
something like that.
Something like that.
Intellectual
That's not-
property.
Property. Yeah, that's it.
That
Okay.
sounds right.
Okay, that's what it is. IP games, intellectual property.
But those games have actually like developed and grown to actually be sometimes pretty decent
Pretty
games.
good.
Yeah.
Huh. Okay, so that means there's
on a
probably
side note,
what?
did you know that the giraffe at the zoo
No.
is named after that character in Harry Potter?
What giraffe?
Is it
Nelly?
Dobley?
Doble?
Doble? Dobby?
Dobby.
Doubly?
Dobby.
Doubly.
The little
Dobby,
the
the
little
little
elf
Doubly.
dude.
Double.
I don't know. I never watched Harry Potter. Dobby. That's
Dobby.
the Dobby.
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 Oh, Daniel.
That's the giraffe's name at the zoo. The one that the
Dave?
mama wasn't supposed to get pregnant because she was on birth control, and that just teaches everyone birth control don't work for animals.
Not even
Don't
slutty
always work
giraffe.
for you.
Not even slutty giraffes.
That's right.
Okay, so that
right.
means that there are probably already Game of Thrones games.
Yes.
There are
I'm sure.
territory control. There's a social deduction Game of Thrones where you're
Man.
secretly a traitor.
Oh, really? I
Wow.
can't wait for the Masked Singer board game. I'm going to be the Bumblebee.
Is it gonna come with masks that you
I
can
hope
wear?
so. At least just little face masks or something. That'd be fun.
Like the Ninja Turtles?
Yes, at least Ninja Turtle. I'm sure there's a Ninja Turtle game. Have you ever tried? Like,
There are.
Have you seen games like this? Looks like the stupidest games. But you know, try the cheesy games. Have you tried
they
those?
end up being good?
And
Or
end
they
up
end up being
kind
cheesy?
of-
Yes, I have played board games.
Do you guys go game at like Enchanted
Yeah.
Grounds and all those
We've been talking
places?
about doing it more, but the one thing about Enchanted Grounds is that they don't
can't
allow
drink.
alcohol.
All right.
And as you can tell from today, that's a huge
You
part.
need an adult only.
So you're telling me we need to start a gaming bar?
a gaming bar.
There is
One
one, Board Game Republic.
Board
Hey,
Game
stop
Republic,
about it.
but Board Game Republic,
Game port pipe.
Where is that one
Where's
at?
that?
it's in Denver somewhere. The issue with it is you have to pay to get in.
Oh,
You can only play the games they have, but they do have like 1,000 board games, which is nice. But let's just say, theoretically, they didn't have the board game you wanted.
Right, why
Can you
couldn't
bring your
you
own
bring your
game?
own in?
You can't.
oh, I don't like this place already.
Right,
And
why couldn't you?
then like you buy a beer or something, and it's like you're spending $8 per beer.
It would be better to do like a 2-drink minimum. You come in, play your games here,
well,
2-drink
they would do
minimum.
Better to
that, but
do none of that.
you're still paying $8 per beer. It's
It would
like,
be better to have a bar with a bunch of great big tables in it and,
And
let
you
people
could
come
bring
do whatever
your
the hell they wanted
right,
to.
like
Yeah.
over
If
here,
you're
the bar on Sunday mornings,
and if you're
they
going to
play.
drink coffee, you're spending $4.
What do we play? What's that game we play? The card game with the things. What's your favorite game in the world?
Are you talking about cribbage?
Yeah.
Oh, I love cribbage.
They do that over there at the bar, and you can go in and
Totally.
join. You know what I
Bring a
mean?
tent. You
I mean,
bring your
it's just
own-
like for me,
you
it's
bring
like
your own board or whatever.
$8. I could buy a 6-pack and just chill at a friend's house.
Yeah.
And play
For
these board
4
Okay.
beers, you could buy 6 packs.
All right, I'm
You know,
still
I'm
down.
like, it's ridiculous.
We needed
how much.
an alcohol beverage establishment that has a place specifically for gamers. That sounds brilliant.
I've been
that sounds
thinking about
easy.
I've been thinking about that and thinking about a bar that has like you have separate rooms. So like this room is going to be this theme tonight, and you could even do like TV shows there. A Bachelorette room where people
Yeah.
come in and there's a TV. Everyone drinks and watches the Bachelorette and talks about it, and you bond with people
No,
rather than
that-
like sitting
that-
at home.
Like,
that-
like a
that's
viewing
horrible,
party room.
Robert.
Yeah, don't ever
Don't
say that
promote
again.
those horrible
don't tell
shows.
people.
No, I'm not saying that, but like
Say the Masked Singer.
Pick a better show.
Masked Singer.
Game of Thrones.
Masked
You'd have a Game
That's
of Thrones
better.
room. You'd have Always
But
Sunny
in order to
Philadelphia
get, this
room.
would be my rule. In order to get in there, you better come with something furry on.
Yeah, the Masked
Could be a
Singer.
hat, could be a scarf. Don't mind.
All right.
Something fur.
Something first.
Something for.
That's what we're calling
Fur.
it. Something first.
I've got a very comfortable furry loincloth.
Right.
There you go.
It's not furry at all. But I could put some
My
fur
chest
right on
hairs.
there.
But it is comfortable.
The fur is underneath.
It's underneath the loincloth.
That would work
Exactly.
too.
Yeah.
I mean, why
think
do we
that's
gotta be
great.
so limiting in our fun?
I have always secretly down low beneath all of everything I show everyone else, wanted to be like a gamer. I drive by that
You drive by 2 every day.
every day. I drive by that Enchanted Grounds
Yeah.
and all that stuff, and I think I kind of think it might be fun. I wish that maybe that had been available to me when I was a kid. Maybe I would have tried it. Instead, I just went where the
But you were in
parties were.
You were into Dungeons and Dragons,
exactly,
hardcore.
exactly.
And
It's-
when did Dungeons and Dragons come out?
I don't know.
Because you were
Any idea?
70s, 80s when you were playing it.
Hey, whoa! Well, it was
80s. Well, you were-
96. No, it was 80s, 85.
I mean, I
'Cause-
know my dad played it in the 80s.
Yeah, but I'm
huge.
probably old enough to be your
It
dad.
was huge.
How old are you? I don't want to know. No, let's not
Yeah.
talk about this.
It was huge, and then it kind of like
Yeah.
I don't know that it ever went away.
Well, because some
but it
kids-
just kind of got quiet, and then it's come back now since this gaming craze.
It
has
had
come
something
back
to
now.
do, I think, with Judas Priest.
I love that.
And
I
then
feel like
somebody
Robert just
died-
looked through
somebody
that
ki-
whole
and then it
game and
became
has
this
already
immersive role.
dissected all of
The
it.
role-playing
I can
game
tell by his
became
face. He put it down. He's like,
for-
I know this game.
But I mean, you could even have like
Suicide.
something
I
like
love you.
you could have something like Stranger Things on Netflix
Right.
come up, and all of a sudden that brings new life into D&D.
Right.
Oh, totally. You could
Because
totally
you can
go
make
on
a whole.
Oh,
what did
you know,
she call
like
it? A
first-
whole. It was a whole.
I'm going to give you 1 second.
Campaign.
Campaign, thank you. Because that's what she would always call him. Oh, a campaign, a campaign. And then she was like, oh, my boyfriend wrote the worst campaign, and now I'm going to write one, and hers was really good.
Yeah, but I mean, like Stranger Things, like they're playing D&D on there. People like the show, so they're like, "Hey, let's try out this D&D." Mm-hmm. Then all of a sudden,
Can't
they
you
find
make
out
like
that
a
they're
Stranger
undercover
Thing
I'm
nerds.
sure
D&D
Stranger
type thing?
Things,
Like a story that kind of
rejuvenated
follows that.
sales.
I mean, isn't that it? You can kind of create your own campaign, your own thing. Because I know her best friend created this character, and I really thought they were going to jump Gwen in the parking lot over the character that she
Yeah.
created. Because she just created this raging bitch. And so every game, she's just this, everything you do, she's just, fuck you can't do that. Because she's just this raging bitch, right? And I thought, don't ever play that character again.
But see,
they're
sometimes
gonna
people
murder
like
you.
that.
Right.
They like playing something that is completely different
Opposite
than what
of
they
them.
are.
And that's what she said.
You know?
She was like, don't, I'm not being mean to you guys. I'm like, I wrote
being my
this.
character.
I wrote
Right. I'm
this
encompassing-
way. You
Right.
know? And so it was just like,
The-
oh wow. I mean, you really can. If you're in your
full
group
immersive.
too, and you meet your group of people,
Yeah.
you can kind of do whatever you want, right? Mm-hmm. That's like your safe space.
But I've built an Egyptian city
Really?
through board games.
Oh, see.
You know, like you just get involved in it. Like
Wow.
it allows you to do stuff you couldn't do normally.
I do that on my phone, like, because like I'll play games on my phone, and I do that. So I think that it would probably, well, the stupid games like
I have a
whatever,
sweet race
but,
car.
But I do think that it does, like, it can correlate. It can go together over there, and then it's like, oh, I can play this the same way over here with real people instead of just myself and my phone.
Exactly.
Because my phone hurts my neck so bad. Right?
My biggest recommendation is to like walk in to
Yeah.
Enchanted Grounds.
And
You
go.
don't have to play a game. Just walk in, feel the environment.
I would love to make coffee there.
I know, like
Watch
gaming.
all you weirdos play your games.
I know gaming go.
I know, right? I'm with you. I'm with you.
Because I
Go
think
do
it's
it.
a whole thing. Go ahead, say what you're saying.
I know gaming go, like right when you walk in, they have all their new releases like on that first shelf that
Yeah.
you see.
This one right
yeah.
here?
Yeah.
Oh, never
And then I know, like, whenever, like, I ask the person or something like that, they're never like, oh, what board game are you talking about? Like, they actually
They know. Yeah.
You know?
Well, that's
Like when
their
you go to a
job. They should
dispensary.
know, right?
yeah, yeah.
Well,
And-
they-
but, like, I know when I first got into the hobby, I went to multiple places and I'd, like, ask them for a board game or something. And they're like, we have no idea what you're talking about. I'm like, why
Right.
the hell do you work here?
That's what I was going to say. It would
You know,
benefit
and it's-
them knowing
it's-
all the games. So when a newbie walks in, they can say, oh, actually,
Yeah, when
these
I-
are the games, and a group is going to come in tomorrow and play those games.
Yeah.
Right. There'll be a
When-
demonstration.
Right. Well, no, they're going to. That's
Well,
the game
they're
they
an
play.
an
but
opportunity
you could
for you to
maybe
play.
with
Not-
them.
yeah.
When I was a newbie, like I bought a few games and then I went back to the store and I'm like, hey, I really like Dominion. Can you suggest any other games? And they're like, I don't know, just take a look around. And it's like, that's not what I want to hear.
No.
No.
Yeah.
Well, they want to say, well, this is kind of like Dominion, but it's this and this and this. Or this is totally like Dominion, or this is nothing like Dominion, but you're going to
Yeah,
like it.
like when I show
You
people
know?
a new game and they like it, I'm like, hey, Come
Check out
back
this
next
one.
week.
Right.
I got 3 other games for you.
Or check out this one, or after you played this one 3 times, look at this one. And yeah, I think that's fun.
I promise you, there's a game for everyone out there.
Yeah.
You come to my house, I have over 100 games. I can find something that you're going to enjoy.
We should set up a gaming thing at your house.
We should. We should do
in
a
the
game.
summer.
We should
So we
Everything
can
Swallow
have
game night.
But then it will be like Rob Casino game night.
multiple
so
games.
you have to have all
Simulation.
your people who usually come and play run the game,
I like that.
so that newbies could come and play.
The house always wins.
That's okay.
One of my first game nights, we had 3 tables.
Yeah.
3 different games going on because I had so many people
Yeah.
who wanted to come and play games.
Yeah, exactly.
But I couldn't
I have
absorb all
wanted
of
to
them.
come and play
A
games at
gaming
your
mecca.
house,
Yeah.
but I know how you game, and so then it's like I'm so
I feel
out of my
old.
league because these are not the games that you get on Christmas. These are not Sorry. These are not freaking
Right.
Mousetrap.
Yeah,
These
right.
are not
And they can
Monopoly.
be intimidating.
Which those games are great, but this is the next level.
These-
What's the next level
Yeah.
after this gonna look like?
Right. These are a step up, and like whenever you find your level, you can just stay there.
Yeah.
There's some games that are above me that I'm like I have no interest in.
Really?
But I have.
I don't think so.
There's some.
I think you're
There's-
gonna privately work on those, and then you'll come out and dominate.
Probably. But like, just don't be bashful. Just come out and play.
And ask
Like,
questions, right?
And ask questions. Tell me what you want.
Yeah.
Like if you tell me you don't want something that we're butting heads the whole time, I'll find a co-op game.
Yeah.
And we'll play a co-op game, and you and me, we can defeat
We
this
can
game
defeat
together.
it,
Like,
or even walk around and just observe.
yeah.
Watch the game,
Watch the game.
see if you like it, because
lot of-
that's how I tell. I can walk up and be like, "Oh no, I already can see this game,"
Mm-hmm.
like you did with this game right here. You know what I mean? You can be like, "Okay, yeah, I can play this. I can totally play this game."
I've had great benefits of just watching
He's
people
already
play
figured
games
this
too.
game out. Robert has.
Read
Number
number
two.
2.
Have you ever used someone else's dildo?
She didn't pre-read. I'm gonna say yes.
I have. I slapped someone across the face with someone else's dildo.
All right.
That counts. It totally counts.
Chris?
I found a random...
I've never seen Chris be so red in the face.
I found a random dildo in a gutter once, and I threw it at a bully.
That's right.
Some things we don't have to talk about on here.
Chris wins. You did a bully throw dildo.
You know what?
So I used it,
saved
but
his
not in
life.
a way.
Right. It gave him enough time to get away because that bully was like, "That dude just threw a dick at me. Where did you get that?"
Where did you get that dick?
But yeah,
All right, and that was a card right out of this game.
Privacy.
privacy. Boom.
What is this? This is an adult game.
Yeah, yeah.
An
it
adult
is.
party game.
It's an adult
That's
party
just
game.
that's a category all on its own.
No,
doesn't
well, you
fall
have-
under anything else.
Party games are a category all their own, and
Yeah.
obviously if you play with a
Because-
certain group, it'll become an adult game.
Sure.
Exactly. Right. Any game can be
Even
an
apples
adult.
to apples,
Yeah.
Right,
somehow
okay.
you'll find a way to
Totally,
make it dirty.
And this
Yeah.
is a party game. Cards Against Humanity is a party game.
Yep.
What is that? Insane Relative Insanity is a party
Well,
game.
yeah, that's more of a
'Cause
family
well,
party
that's
game.
the
It's a party
same.
game. It's a party game.
So all those are party games, and the
Yeah.
games we've been talking about today are actually games. That you play with people. You sit down, you play them. Someone wins, someone loses.
Yeah.
Can you continue them on?
What do you mean?
Well, usually you'll just play them multiple times and that kind of thing.
Okay, because they're not that long.
No.
They're not
about-
so long.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
like-
we said 45 to an hour.
Because Dungeons and Dragons is so long. I mean, that's a long game. These are shorter than that normally.
Yes. Dungeons and Dragons is in its like own little
What?
realm.
Ready? You can't pre-read. Number 2.
Have you ever considered putting peanut butter on your genitals and letting your dog lick them?
Why would you put that in the game? Who's going to admit to that?
What's your answer?
I said, who's going to admit to that?
I've never thought about it. I just did. Reacted. Like,
The answer is yes. To everyone in the world,
like
yes.
shit, my nuts fell in some peanut butter. Let's see
know
what
what would be
happens.
great
You got
right
your
now?
nuts in my peanut
Gizmo.
butter.
Gizmo,
I got
come
my
here.
peanut butter on your nuts. Better get that off.
And that's how we made Reese's.
Yes. I love it.
So this is the game Privacy. And we were given this game. We have yet to play it. This is
Yeah.
the first time I've actually looked at any of the cards, to be honest with you.
It's great.
And
Yeah.
The components on it are really nice.
He's gonna figure it out too.
seems like it's pretty easy to play. You answer yes or no privately by putting them into like a little safe.
Mm-hmm.
And then whoever I guess the dealer is probably gathers all
Components
those
are very
together.
I all know, right? Why haven't you guys made a game yet?
Yeah, what's the deal? When are you going to make your own?
We
have you thought about it?
We have.
Talked about it so many times.
Hey, you got to start?
Ooh.
Have you started one?
Yes.
Have you?
And
Never
it flopped,
deflowered
it
a
flopped
virgin.
horribly.
Okay.
So it's still sitting in my office.
So you have to start again.
I think it's also
Are you
like
like Dwight Schrute? You have the beat game. You have to go around the farm.
I think it's also that like we've also had so many ideas for games.
Oh, I'm sure it's probably hard to narrow it down because you guys have played so.
Well, what
many
would you
games.
classify your guys' self as? I mean, you're alpha gamers. Both of you.
Well, Chris is clearly not. He's made it very clear. He wrote his own name down on his note. And Rob's.
Yeah, and he had mine.
He didn't want you
In
to
case I
bring it in
forgot.
there. That's
Like,
right. That's a friend.
I do not think I'm an alpha gamer.
I am not either, bro. I'm gonna hear it.
Woo.
I'm not.
I like to like introduce people into the hobby and all that. I'll bring them over to my house. I'll show them a few games and that kind of thing. But I try my hardest and like never tell them what to do.
Yeah.
I just show like I tell them the options
You
they
let
can
them
do,
pick their own thing.
and I let them pick their own thing. And like I've had some like I've seen people do like pretty horribly and everything, but I've at least let them do that.
Yeah.
So, because like if I, like one of my biggest pet peeves is like, let's say sports, someone tells me I should have done something or something like that, I like tell them to fuck off and
Right.
go do my own thing.
Right.
Right.
If someone did that for me when I was trying to get into board gaming, I probably never would have gotten into board gaming.
Right. You got to find your own way.
Yeah.
Find what you like, what you're going to play. Because, like me, I'm like the Nazi, right? But now I kind of want to play some games.
Yeah. Like
Yeah,
I
me
said,
too. I kind of want to play some
Yeah.
games. I definitely want to
Because
try.
they're not that typical
Dookie.
old, dull board game. The boring
I want to try this one
game.
now.
Tukey is over at Game and Go. And
I would do
maybe in
Tukey
Shannon
and I
Brown.
would do Junk Art.
Junk Art.
Because I think that's super fun. You know what I mean? So I think that would be way more fun. You have way more opportunities.
Yep. And the more
And I
you
have
learn,
that-
the more that it's just going to start clicking.
Right.
Because you're going to
Yeah.
see some similar mechanics. But
In each
this
game.
game's tweaked this one a little bit. So, like,
Yeah.
okay, all right, now I
Yeah.
get this, I
Yeah.
understand this, and you
'Cause
just slowly
when
build.
I
Ariel
start-
would come home and talk about D&D, and I'd be like, oh my God.
When I like started board games, I'm like, you're telling me this fucking rule book is 20 pages long?
Right.
You know, I'm like, screw that. I'm
Right.
gonna read this one that's 3 pages long.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no doubt.
And then I play the game with the 3-page rule book. And then after playing so many, I'm like, oh, this 20-page rule book, sure, it's 20 pages, but without
It's
even
way
reading
more
it,
worth it.
without even reading it, I understand 15 of those pages.
Right. Or maybe you just reference check, right? Like, oh no,
Become
it
more
does say this,
knowledgeable
which I
as you
thought
play.
it would
Yeah.
be.
Yeah,
Yeah.
makes sense.
What's your
like-
favorite game?
My favorite game of all time is Terraforming Mars.
Terraforming?
Terraforming, and that's a board game?
Terraforming
Yeah,
Mars.
you can terraform Mars, make it into a place where we can live.
It's very weird.
In a board game. How cool
you
is
get
that?
in this
What?
spaceship.
You can
In a
do that.
board game?
Really?
How big is this fucking board?
It'd fit on this table. It'd fit on this table.
You get in this spaceship, they shoot you up into space, and then you go to Mars. It's very expensive. But
Really?
You know, no, I'm just joking.
I was like, really?
So Terraforming Mars is what we call an engine builder. You do
That's a
like
different game. We didn't talk about engine building.
We did not get there. No.
you like do one thing, and then that thing lets you increase blah blah blah.
Okay.
But then the next round, because blah 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 was increased, all of a sudden now you can do 2 things.
Okay.
And then, it just slowly builds
But it
up.
tells you this as you go along, right? Like, it tells
Mm-hmm.
you, if you get this, this is what you can do next.
Yeah.
So you like start out the game and you're like, all I can do is produce a plant.
Okay.
And then all of a sudden by the end of the game, you're like, I'm producing 10 plants, and all I'm doing is just putting a shit ton of forest onto Mars and
Right.
increasing the oxygen.
Right. So, like,
And then you like feel good because like you're doing something.
I play a game like that. It's on my phone. It's called Merge Dragon. You merge all this shit together and it
I played
turns
that
into
game,
something
yep.
else, right?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like that. It's like, oh, I only have this one thing, but if I get 3 of these, I can make it into this thing.
And
she tells us she's not a gamer.
I know,
very-
right? Well, with other people.
Well, most people don't know they're gamers.
No, I don't like playing games with other people because I've always played Monopoly. I've always played the games that it's like, I fucking hate you and I don't ever want to play a game with you again because it's not fun because they already know. And I'm sure you guys have played games with those people who just won't waver. Like, yes. I'm not having fun. I'm going to dominate. I'm going to be. And it's like, you're taking all the fun out of this. I just want to have fun. Did you see? Look at my cups. I've had all these drinks. I'm having fun, you know?
And that's why we love house rules.
Yeah.
Is that, like, we find, like, rule, it's like, this rule's beating us to the pulp.
Right.
We'd rather play that.
I'd rather do it this way. And as long as we all agree to it, then, like, we can get our enjoyment out of that game by tweaking it.
We've definitely played a few games where we've tweaked them outside of the rules just so that we personally could have more fun.
But you tell that. People come over, you're playing, and we say we have house rules. And then that way when a house rule applies, they already know this is Rob's house. Okay, house rules apply.
And for me personally, whenever I bring somebody in, I'll explain the normal rule and I'll explain the house rule. And I'll give them the choice. I'm like, we can either play house rule or we can play this way.
Do you just have to state it? You know?
And so we decide before we go.
Yeah, 95% of the time they want house rule because
Yeah.
it's more fun.
And if they've ever played the game before, then they know, oh no, yeah, I'm taking the house rule because that rule does suck. And it kills the game every time. Because there are those rules in games that just...
Yeah, like you can play a game to play a game, but you could also play a game just to have fun.
Right. That's my whole thing. I just want to have fun. I don't care. And like Sean's like, oh, you're way more competitive than you know, which I probably am. But I don't set my intention out that way. You know, I don't set it out, oh, I'm going to mutilate you. I just set it out that I'm going to have fun. And if at one chance I see, this is the right way to go and you win, that's what you do. Right?
Yeah. I'm very competitive myself. But when I, like, win and I, like, beat people to a pulp, I don't win.
It's not as fun.
It's not fun.
It's not fun.
I want them to, like, enjoy it with me.
Yeah.
And so I try
all
to,
the way
like...
to the end. I'd rather win by 1 point than 100 points because at least I knew that whole time.
Oh, 1 point.
Well.
1 point. We've had so many games between, like, 1 point.
Really?
Like, literally 1 point.
And you're
40
like,
to 41. Yeah. And it's just, like, back and forth. It's just been like, had I done this small maneuver earlier... I could have got that 1 point.
Does it change it so that you try to win not by 1 point again? Or do you care?
I mean, I don't really care usually. For me,
because you're having fun, right?
Yeah, like for me when I play a game, like I'm having fun playing the game, and then when it comes down to the final score, and I'm like, I lost by 1 point. You know,
and
like
then that's when you think back and you think, shit,
yeah,
I
like,
should have did that thing 3 moves ago.
To me, it like adds more enjoyment to the game because I'm just like. I had so much fun, and then like I was so close.
They're on your tail the whole time. Yeah.
There's another level of games we haven't even talked about, which is legacy games.
Oh, see, I want to talk about
What are those?
Too.
Legacy games are like one of the hardest games to pull off. Legacy games are going to be a game that every time you play the game changes.
Yeah. So like at the end of your game, it's like add in these 4 new things.
Oh.
And then the next time you play it, those 4 new things are going to be prevalent.
Oh.
So you've played Risk.
Yeah.
There's a Risk Legacy.
Oh, my God.
The first time someone is eliminated from the game, you add a sticker to the board.
Huh.
And I don't want to give a bunch of spoilers, and I haven't played a whole bunch, but I've gotten some. But, like, you're adding cities to Risk, which they're never cities. And now cities give you more points if you own them, etc.
Oh, no, thanks.
So, like...
That sounds complicated.
It's very complicated. It's hard to pull off. It's like, hey, I have to have the same gaming group for 12 game sessions.
Yeah. You have to say with the
Legacy?
same... No, yeah, like a regular Risk Legacy. Yeah. No,
Well, what
thanks.
if you don't like the people you're playing with?
Right. And you're 4 weeks in, you're like,
Right.
I hate that bitch.
And that's why my legacy games have fallen.
Ah,
Not really.
interesting.
But
I've only completed one, and that was Charterstone, and that was a year long.
What?
Oh,
A year long.
How many
12
weeks?
12 games, 1 meeting a month.
Okay.
So it was once a month. Sometimes we met a couple times a month, but then we had holidays, November, December, where we didn't meet at all.
Right.
So it took us about a full year.
Wow.
But that Charterstone's probably one of the best games I've ever played in my entire life.
Huh.
The rule book is perfect. It describes everything that you need to know. It just and it starts off simple. It starts off like a roll and move. Like you roll, move, blah, 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 blah. And now, you roll, move, or you can draw a card, and it slowly builds in the components so you can learn everything you need to learn.
As you're going.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's a progressive game.
I talked a little bit about Pandemic. Pandemic has a legacy game. And I tried playing that one, and then the people I was playing with, we just slowly fell apart, and the game dissolved after 5 games, which kind of sucks. But that one, it's you let this city have an outbreak. Now you put a sticker on the board. So next time that city has an outbreak, it's even worse. Or something like that.
Doubles.
Because you've already been there. It's already
Intensify
happened
the
once.
outbreak.
And then after 3 times, that city just completely is eliminated from the board.
Yeah, Lyme disease.
Modelo
Don't go in the forest.
Dos Equis infection. Dos Equis.
Red beet and lime.
Why did you buy that beer, Chris? Red
All right,
beet
tell
and
us
lime?
about this beer. Enough about the
Okay.
games. Thank you for your gaming
Yeah.
knowledge, and
my
it's
gosh.
been amazing. But why in the hell would a person pick up a 4-pack of, how much was it?
It was like
$10.
$13.
$13, 4-pack of beer that's red beet and monkey poop.
Monkey poop is lime.
Red beet and lime.
Little known fact: monkey poop tastes like lime.
I love it.
Well, it's actually a regional dialect.
So it's kombucha inspired sour ale. And pretty much when it comes to beers and that kind of thing, and I go to Rob's house, I find some of the weirdest looking beer, and I try it out.
Well, you should stop doing that. And how was that beer?
Very beet flavored with some sour.
With some sour. I don't know
Lime.
about... I like beets, but I don't know about beet and sour.
And I like lime. And I hate beets.
And everybody loves Dwight, so support Dwight. That's a Dwight.
Yeah.
So Dwight,
it's
is
a
that
thing?
Dwight a thing? Is that a
This
well-known?
is officially sponsored by Dwight Schrute.
Oh, that's what I said. Is that a Dwight Schrute beer?
It's not,
Who
but
else would make
Oh,
beet beer?
no shit.
Dwight Schrute. Love that guy.
yes.
Are
Fucking
you, so
weirdo.
you're known for the weird beer guy?
Weird beer guy. I
you
like
gonna-
trying new things.
You gonna finish the 4-pack?
Yeah, eventually.
I want to look at it. Really quick. It's got the fancy ass label.
It looks real inviting.
Stickered on there. Oh
It
my
does.
God,
It looks real inviting.
It's real fun. And when I looked at it at first, I thought it said root beer,
Yeah.
I mean, it's
but it
not.
says
Beet.
red beet. It doesn't say root beer at all.
At
It says
all, no.
red beet.
It's not horrible, but I think
But you-
one and done is.
But you had
One
a half
is
of
it.
one of your own and moved on to our beers out of the fridge.
Which were also weird beers.
Now this
to
is
us.
this is 7.5% alcohol. What's the alcohol percent of that dead guy ale?
6.8.
Ah.
So maybe the root,
Beets hold more booze.
the root's got a better buzz for you. So feed your granola girl some
I should
beet
have
juice.
tried it because I like beets and
Try
I like
one.
lime.
Open it up.
There's a whole
No,
can
no,
right there.
that's okay.
It does say
After I
Dwight.
finish this one, we can split it.
It says
another one.
Dwight
Try
right
one.
on it.
Yeah.
Well, doodle. If you cannot read cursive, that says Dwight.
Yeah, I agree. I also don't know what a word that's D-Y-A-D
Yeah,
spells.
I know.
Dwight?
What?
So
Dwight.
Tweed?
Dwight.
I know we're
You want to get the rest of your notes?
pretty far on time and everything.
Oh,
Did
you're
There's
you
no
guys
such
just
thing as time.
Nah, don't
We're
look
just
at
here having
that.
fun. Don't look at all that.
Don't
Oh.
look at that.
Don't even kid.
I mean,
go
we
as
do
long as
still
we
have a
want.
few more,
You're
but we
bleeding.
didn't want to, make it super long or anything.
No,
We're
no.
just
What do
hanging
you
out.
got? What
We're
do
just
you got
hanging
left?
out. This is not a time constraint issue.
Oh, it
Okay.
does smell very.
Edie? Oh, you opened one?
I did.
I think in my mind, I remember hearing something open.
It smells like
But
a
we've been
fruit juice.
now we have been drinking whiskey. This is
Oh, yeah.
Abraham
Robert
Jefferson's
brought some good
Abraham's
stuff.
friend Jefferson's.
Little known fact: the beet beer tastes better
Okay,
when you have
Dwight.
lots of whiskey.
Okay, that's
Oh,
good.
okay,
So
that's
this is gonna taste real good right now
This is
because it smells pretty good.
Jefferson's small, very small
Very small.
batch whiskey.
And it's not how the
don't
size of
hate this
it, it's
beer.
how you
Yeah,
use
it's
it.
not like when you hear it.
I
And
almost
this
feel
is
like the sour is what has the
82.3
bite,
proof,
but the beat
which
is not
is
bad.
41.15. Is
It
it
smells
good?
real good, yeah.
You're beet loving little slut. She loves those
I
beets.
know. You were
Give
going
her-
to call me a little beat loving whore.
I was, but I chose to say slut.
Because that's better.
It feels less offensive.
Slightly.
Slut is level 1.
gonna try your
Whore
beat.
is level 5.
So wait a minute. Is it a beer or
You
is it
got
a
it on your nose.
kombucha? Get it off of me. Is it a kombucha?
No,
Yes.
it's a kombucha inspired, but it's a beer.
What does that mean?
Kombucha is like
You've had
I know what
Right, or
kombucha
something?
is, but so someone
Mike
said,
is gonna
"Oh
kick
my
you
god,
in the
no,
butthole."
I know what kombucha is, but someone had a kombucha that was a beet juice and was like, "Oh my god, I should make a fucking beer like this."
No.
that person lived in Boulder.
It's good. It doesn't smell bad.
You know what? I feel like it should be worse.
You just got
I don't-
beat in your mouth.
Dude, he likes it. He likes it.
I don't.
He
hate
wants
it.
to hate it,
You
but
don't hate
I
it.
want to hate it.
he likes it.
I'm disappointed that I don't hate it more.
Jefferson's allows you to
Jefferson.
not hate things as much.
A very small batch.
Jefferson's whiskey will make you like things more.
That's right.
Including anything in your life.
I have some other things I'd like to try that you might like.
What is that?
Ah,
Put 'em on the
I'll tell you
table.
that. Okay. All right.
Purple beets.
I'm not afraid.
I think you're thinking of purple waffle.
Don't eat a
I know what
purple
blue waffle is. I do not want to know what
It's blue.
purple
they're,
waffle is.
they're the same.
Oh, okay.
Well, purple is just one step past blue.
And this is how board games leads to purple waffles.
That's right.
Join the club. Come
Join
on in.
the club.
Board games are fun.
So,
Now, okay, I don't like to beat at all. Now that it's had time to linger in my mouth hole, I'm not in.
you know what?
And I drank water and it made it worse.
You should drink more beets.
You should eat my beet.
I do.
I know, but I don't do it. And
I've ate your warm beets, so don't talk to
whoa.
me,
If you guys are uncomfortable listening to this, you should be here in the room.
We're not uncomfortable. Just Chris and Rob are.
kinda wondering. Yeah.
This is not in my notes.
This is where the wheels come off.
Tell me more about board games.
This is Shaina's board
Please,
game.
please tell me more about board
I'm gonna
games.
make a game around this beet beer.
Yeah.
Everyone's gonna leave pink.
If you guys like the game of life and Monopoly, Farmer game.
Farmer?
Yeah. It's
What
like
is that?
Farmer Life.
That's a board game.
I feel like that is
Farmer.
farmersonly.com.
Come if you wanna get a girl with thick thighs. Call farmersonly.com.
Yep, that sounds as
That sounds like a
miserable as the game is. Like, you take Monopoly in life and throw
Add a
in...
field in there.
Yeah,
What's it called?
and it's miserable.
Farm girl?
Farmers, farm life.
Oh.
Farmers
Super-
only.
Yes.
.com.
It
We
is...
should all make a fake profile just to see what happens.
Yeah, it's been in my game closet forever. It's my parents' game.
Have you played it once? It's an old game.
It's an old game.
I'm gonna play that game.
We played 25 minutes of it, and we're like, what the fuck is going on?
Can it be
And we
evolved?
stopped.
Can it be swallow evolved?
I mean, yeah, let's change like crops into like sex positions,
Yeah.
and then
I
then
got a
maybe.
whole deck of cards for those.
I got 8 bushes of
I-
doggy
right,
style.
Is it a big dick or a small dick?
You gotta get clipped down all your bushes. You've been infested.
Fucking crabs came in off the sea.
That's a thing.
Yeah.
Might have been in the 90s, but I think it's gonna make a reappearance.
You're not selling this game very well.
How do you know?
Dude,
I
it sounds
don't know.
great. Huh?
Everything that I do sells,
Okay.
right?
Grow some hay
You know
on
what?
a game board.
You want some swallow crabs?
Wow.
There's a little water, they wash away.
What?
Wash on, wash off.
It's a water, it's a squirt, it's a spray. Whatever you got.
I like it.
What card did you draw?
7.
I'm making my own game.
9.
I'm making my own board game.
Ace of 6.
It's clothing optional.
That's called suitless.
Yes.
You just named it.
So we got
Okay,
engine builder,
Chris is reverting to his notes as fast as he
worker
can.
placement.
Go. And then there's the...
Oh, yeah. We
Okay,
jumped
go to
all
the
over.
notes. All right, let's wrap this up, boys.
All right. Worker placement. We haven't talked about that one.
is that?
What the hell is it?
Worker placement is you have meatballs.
Meatballs. I fucking could eat a meatball right now.
Dude, I make some
Not
good
a
old...
meatball.
You make
You
good
do make
meatballs?
good
I make
meatballs.
some good meatballs.
Oh, you
We've
do?
had your meatballs.
I have had your
Yes.
meatballs. Oh,
I got some stewing right now.
Did you bring your meatballs to the Halloween party?
I did.
Yeah.
And they got
Because
eaten alive.
everyone kept asking
I
about
never even got
the
one.
meatballs.
I was
and
like-
they were the best meatballs ever.
Every time I
Do
tried
you have
to
more
get-
of those
I got-
meatballs, and then all night I'm like,
I got ball
who brought
blocked.
those fucking meatballs?
Every time I
This
went.
guy.
Yeah.
The
I
merman.
didn't have listen, because I had 6 in my mouth at once doesn't mean I had some.
You gotta share. Like,
You
pass
can't
them on.
put
It's
6
like
of
gum.
Rob's balls in your mouth. That's not fair. What about the other Rob lovers in the room?
Fuck them.
first come, first serve.
That's how I could live.
Take all
My
the
life.
balls.
The best part is that this is a worker placement game.
Right.
So instead of
Go
a
ahead.
meeple, I'm gonna say it's my ball.
Okay.
And you take your ball and you place it where you need to place your ball.
Okay.
And depending on where you place your ball, gives you a different ability.
Okay.
So if I can bring this back to Monopoly, because a lot of people know Monopoly,
Yeah.
if I wanted a chance card, I'd place my meeple on the chance
On the
spot
chance card.
to get a chance card. Or if I wanted to buy a property, I'd play it on a buy area.
Okay.
And then I'd get some kind of random property and then have to pay the cost.
Sure,
so like
sure.
you place your different characters wherever you want to achieve a different activity.
Okay.
So that's a worker placement game. Some of the strengths of the game that we decided were that like adaptive.
Okay.
You can always figure out
A
move
way to
that,
use it.
a move that you want to do.
Okay.
Something you want to do somehow to accomplish your goal. One of the weaknesses is that there's 20 different options.
Okay.
So now I have to sit there and think of like, okay, well, if I went here and got a couple coins, then
Right.
on
Like
my
what
next
leads to the next
my next
step?
turn I could do this, or I already have 20 coins. Could I do this? Like, so a lot of times it slows the game down.
Right.
Sounds like a
And-
lot.
There's
Yeah.
so many choices. You're like, I want
I
to do
feel
them all.
confused.
Too many.
Yeah.
I want to do them all,
Right.
but I can't.
Yeah.
And so a lot of times we have our turn order, which is just where we sit at the table.
Right.
And Drew's always after me. And Drew gets annoyed because I take 5 minutes for my turn to like, okay,
Decide what you want to do.
Contemplation.
I could do this, I could do this, I
Oh,
could do
yeah.
this. And I can
I
tell
know
that
you.
that's like turning Drew off. So I
Right.
try to speed up my turn, which takes fun away from my game.
Right.
But it's increasing his fun. So I always try to do a fun management game.
Well,
Like-
that's because you're the boss. You're the hostess with the mostest.
Yes.
So then you think of everyone else playing.
Yeah, so that's the weakness of those worker placement games is there's so many options you could do. You could do whatever you want.
But you have to decide.
Yeah, but what are you going to do?
And then until you play them all, you don't know. Mm-hmm. Right?
A lot of worker placement games I go through and I only play 30% of the game. I focus on a couple 3 or 4 moves and use those.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And the next time I play, I do 3 or 4 different moves.
Right.
And slowly build okay, this is how I can work to get this done.
What game do you hate? Like, what game did you just... Like, I fucking hate that game, and if it comes in my house, I'm gonna fucking start it on fire.
Tricarion.
That is one, yes. Chicarion, our friend loves that game, and he brought it to the table. We played it once, and it's just like,
What game
What
is
is
that?
that?
So
What
Tricarion,
now? Like in the things that you've taught us today, where does that game fall?
it doesn't.
Okay.
There's a
Worker placement,
It's-
resource management.
Okay,
We haven't talked about resource management, but you're managing a bunch of resources.
right, to not lose your shit and to make more, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's so basically you're a magician.
Okay.
And you're trying to go out and get resources like rope and wood to build a rope box to
Right.
do your tricks.
Right.
And so you're spending all these times to get resources and place your workers here to get different stuff and to
Right.
get income and blah 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 blah. And then you finally build up to your final show
your magician show.
Right.
Magician show.
Like, I'm gonna cut a woman in
Someone's
half.
at our door.
Could be our son.
Okay, will you go see?
I will.
It's like,
Anyways.
I'm gonna cut a woman in half. And
Shouldn't
then,
do that. They get pissed.
Bring glass ice.
and then you just get points.
Okay.
And then
And
you
that's
place.
that's it.
a
That was like
piece.
grand finale.
Yeah, you place a piece on the board, and that's it. That was you doing the show. You don't get to see like a cool show. of-
What game is this?
Tricarion.
Tricarion?
Yeah. So
Okay.
trick,
carry
carry on.
Okay. Okay.
So it's just like you build up to this, and then you finally like make your show, and it's the smallest part of the game.
Right.
You like just place a piece.
Right.
That's it.
That's it. You've worked so hard just for nothing.
Yeah.
And you're like, hey, I did this one round before you, so I get 7 points, and
Yeah.
you only get 5.
Yeah. Okay.
You,
Okay.
you could literally take the theme and
Because
put
you
it,
copied someone before you.
yeah, you could literally take the theme and put it on any other game.
Yeah.
It could be a farmer game. It could be a bartender game. Like
Any game.
you're making this cocktail and you do this, and so like
So for me, my least favorite game, it's going to be unpopular, and I admit that it is definitely an entry-level game, but I do not like Catan.
Catan?
Yeah.
Really? Hey, Sean, tell him to come down here. Go ahead. Catan. I want to know why you don't like it, because that is like the only game I knew that introduced this era or entity of gaming.
So for me, like, I may not be excellent, but I like being able to plan and strategize and that kind of thing. And Catan, it's like you roll a dice to see what resources produce
Okay.
that round.
Okay.
And this kind of rolls into other games, but with other games, I can kind of ignore them a little bit more. So Catan is just unfortunately the one that has prevailed with it because so many people know it.
Okay.
But I don't like that luck aspect of it. It's like, yeah, you built on the one, and somehow in this game, we've had one rolled 4 times, and so now you've just come out in the lead because of some lucky chance.
Over and over and over again. Okay. Okay. I get that.
For me with games, I like strategy. I like knowing I failed because I did this instead of this.
At your own fault.
Yeah.
Yeah, at your own fault. Like I had 1 or 2, and I took 1 instead of 2, and then I lost.
Yeah,
Well,
so-
I should have taken 2, and I would have won.
I'm not saying Catan is a bad game or anything,
Yeah.
and it's definitely an entry level game for people, and I'll still play it.
Do you feel like Catan is like becoming like Monopoly?
There's a lot of people that feel that way.
Do you know what I mean? Because you
Mm-hmm.
guys are like gamers, so you like not like video gamers, but gamers that can say that, right? That have been like
there's
no.
a ton of people that feel that way. You can
Okay.
go to Walmart and find
Because that
Catan.
was the only one I knew of, and that tells you something.
Yeah.
That's the monopoly of that game.
Yeah, but
so-
it's just like me, like, now that I've gotten into the hobby,
Yeah,
there's so many other games I would much rather play than Catan.
right.
So when someone comes over and they're like, I want to play Catan, or like I tell them I'm into board games, and they're like, oh, I love Catan, I play Catan, blah, blah, blah. I'm like,
Then you want to be like, no, I don't play those board games.
it's like, I will play with you, but I would love if you would let me introduce you to something else.
Something else, right? Like what? You guys play Catan? You guys over there? Do you play Catan?
I was seeing if we ever played it, but I don't think we have.
I can like picture like the cover of the board.
What do you guys play?
Well, I like we've hung with Chad, and we'll play D&D every now and then.
Which is D&D, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it's about.
I feel like D&D is the new entry gate drug, right? Like gaming drug.
I mean, it could be like
It's
if you
bringing people back around, though,
if
right?
if you have a dungeon master that knows what they're doing, they can easily get you into the game
Yeah,
without
yeah.
like having to know everything about it.
Right.
Like I remember when I was like 8 years old, I knew nothing about D&D.
Yeah.
And I went over to some person's house and they're like, "Here, roll these dice. All right, that's what your dexterity is."
They
now."
taught you.
You know, and then I just played.
Yeah.
You know,
just
there
started.
wasn't any rules. There wasn't anything to learn. It was.
You started playing the game.
Yeah.
They just taught you how to play the game as you go, which I feel like most of these games are that way.
Yeah.
Like you can just sit down and be like, okay, all right, and then as your team members, okay, I'm gonna help you these first 2 rolls, tell you how to go, and then you're on your own because you should get it by then, right? Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You should get it. You should
Well-
be able to have it.
When it
Other
was-
games.
Have you guys ever played swords? Like What is he trying to say?
We have
What's
never
the game he's
touched
playing?
penises.
Oh, no, never
That's
mind.
what I was
That's what
gonna
he
say.
said, yeah.
Swords?
He's-
Is that
Jason
Dick
is asking if you guys
fighting?
have ever sword fighted at the end of a game.
Hey,
Never
this
mind.
We
This
have
Jason,
never-
you
isn't about
pervert.
tummy sticks
Oh, my
here.
God.
We have
Come
never touched
on.
penises.
This is my fault for not pre-reading. My fault.
That's fine.
Jason totally got you.
And from what I
Totally
understand, that's...
Patrick, chase this beer. Our
Oh,
kid just
Patrick's
showed
a
up.
beer lover.
Taste that beer.
The funny thing is that when you said play
Give it a
swords, I was
swirl.
like,
Let me swirl it.
what sword game?
Smell
Like,
it.
I already
Sword
like
game, like
was like,
lightsabers?
a bunch of different
sour.
ones.
I've
There's a
Now
one where you
that-
play with your fingers.
Now,
yeah, I've been in a sword fight, but I don't want to talk about it. What'd you say?
now that right there, I could totally not drink.
Give
It's
it to
only red
Michael.
beet and lime.
Chris
Tastes like
is
feet.
Chris is an
Michael taste it.
adventurous beer drinker. Patrick, much like yourself, an adventurous beer
I
drinker.
like sours and stuff like
And
that.
so
that sweeter
he
stuff.
he
That
went with
is
the beet and lime.
Red beet and lime.
Red beet.
red
Melted
beet.
down
Is there any other kind of beet, like a blue beet?
There,
I don't think so.
there
There's
are-
there's
there are
golden.
golden
Is there
beets,
fried,
yeah.
is there fried green?
No, there's a
Ham?
golden beet.
Fried
Ooh, fried
green
beets
beets
and
and
ham.
To rule them all.
One beet to rule them all.
The
Exactly.
golden beet.
Give it to Michael. What did he think?
What do you think?
Golden beet.
Yeah, it tastes like candy.
Dude, he
You know
loves it.
what?
Oh,
He loves
Michael
it.
loves it.
I'm going to say one thing right now.
He's the youngest.
Michael and I, we're the same ethnicity, so
Oh,
we
that's
like
right. You
beets.
guys are Mexican. You
Michael's
guys are
more
Latino.
native.
A Latino.
Michael's more native. Like,
Disclosure,
It doesn't
not all
matter.
Mexican
He's-
like
Michael's
beets.
still a
Hey, how are
Latino.
ya?
You do
You
now.
Mexican? No, you're not. You're white as hell. You're white like me.
And I don't like beets.
I hate beets.
Who likes beets?
Me.
Mexican people, apparently.
Wow.
Shaina and her mother, and now Michael. That's three.
Disclosure.
me.
Michael's
Once again, not all
He's
Mexican
Shaina
like
and
Latino.
her mother, and Michael makes
Michael,
three.
you're Latino,
Oh,
correct?
yeah, you guys been doing mixed food?
Enough.
I'm Italian more than anything.
Yeah, more
He's
than
he's a
You're still brown.
He's Italiano.
that. He knows the family.
Okay,
Lataliano.
now taste it out of here.
It's always worse out of
No,
the
it's
can.
not. Taste it.
No, it's better out of the-
warm.
Aluminum tastes so
Breathe in
good.
through your nose as you're drinking it.
Lick the aluminum.
It's better warm.
Drink the whiskey and then the beer. Apparently, that's
I
better.
can't breathe through my nose very well.
Oh yeah, he broke his nose.
His
at
nose has been broken
he broke his
6
nose.
times.
He broke his
Now give it to
nose
Michael.
at a hard
Taste the difference.
rock thrashing Christian band.
No, that was not.
Like at
that was,
Hard Rock
That
Cafe?
was like.
No, we
what?
went. We went
That
inside.
was 11. That don't count.
What
We
do
went
you think,
inside
Michael?
the
Broken
devil
nose. This tastes
demon
it's better
demon
cold or
slayers.
warm?
That was not even a broken
Really?
nose.
That was a broken
Sour
nose.
comes
It
through
was
more on the
not.
cold.
I have a photo.
I
a
love
broken
it when
broken
these kids
nose.
come over.
I like
Do you?
sours.
Yes,
Why?
because they're my kids.
They're your kids.
Both of them. Both of these kids in this room are my
Your
kids.
boy.
Mostly me though.
Yeah.
Stop looking at my mom like that.
Stop maternalizing my mother.
I love Michael too.
Michael pulled out the twister board already.
That's
true.
right. That's
But
how
Mike,
you know
you know-
he's been here.
Yeah, that's right. He knows. They've all had a glimpse. It's unfortunate.
I love it so
Been
much.
there.
I had the oil squirt bottle.
Whoa.
I'm not real sure what that was about either.
You're
You
about
were
to find
drunk,
out.
right?
I think that was
guess-
for
You
when,
were
I think
drunk.
that was for when Uncle John.
Uncle John was here. I've heard about him.
Right.
He sounded nice.
He would always be.
What's he
You know,
say?
when I'd wake up, he'd be making breakfast.
Yeah.
That's right.
Well,
and he never scared him.
I went to bed early and work early, so who
That's
knows
right.
what happens around this
That's
place.
right.
All right, let's play some games.
We're gonna play some games, and we're gonna do a game night at Robert's house. He doesn't know yet, but
We're gonna do an Everything Swallow podcast game night, and Robert's gonna host at our house, right here in this gaming basement. The basement looks nice, huh?
It looks
It
nice.
looks like the real deal, huh?
It looks very nice.
Yeah, thank
I
you.
like the tapestries and everything.
Yeah, right.
We had one here.
Sweet.
We gotta go the other way so we
It
don't
covered
cover
the
the
heater
heater
vent.
You
vent.
should put a chandelier down here.
Oh, you're
Right.
smart.
Like,
have
you know, because
several.
like you have that, but we should get rid of this light and put a chandelier.
You are
in.
smart. I'm done.
You know, I am
Done.
your son, so I mean.
You are.
You know what? He's my son.
True.
That chandelier
That's true.
idea
She's
came
got you
from.
there.
That's never been
from
proven that
Mom.
you're actually mine. You could be hers,
You
or
are.
not mine.
I brought you into this relationship.
was-
You didn't even know.
Me and the milkman always had a good relationship.
You didn't even know. You love
Yeah.
milk so much.
Not anymore.
And you're brown like your mama
good.
Shaina. Wow.
That's right.
Chris looks uncomfortable.
This is his his first swallow experience. Because now
True.
there's 3
Second.
swallows in here.
True. No.
The first one,
I commend you, bro,
Yeah,
for
to leave
doing what
early.
you did. And I acknowledge
Which
that
was
you
the first
put-
one?
the Halloween party.
Yeah,
Oh,
yes.
yeah.
And he put in a lot of work,
Oh,
and
that's
I
a good
feel like
one.
you did a great job. And then I
Were you
pulled
trying to
off.
clean up the throw up?
Yes.
Yeah.
That was Chris.
I
So I
remember
pulled
that.
him off and put the man responsible
drunk guy on it.
part of the fucking
remember
job.
that.
Yeah.
We've made all of our kids clean up their own
Their own
throw
fucking
up.
throw up.
You threw
Yeah,
up, you
I'm
clean
not
the
letting
shit up.
your
It's
friend
part of it.
let you
It's
clean
part
his
of it.
up.
You know why?
Yeah.
Because when you're
He can
hungover
come
the
back
next
over.
day cleaning up, you're like,
Sometimes when
it's
it's
way
warm,
worse.
like it's still there.
You put it in their pocket,
Yeah.
and it sticks with them
That
all day.
motherfucker never Venmo'd me.
I was just about to ask.
know
I was
what?
just about to ask.
He still owes Robert rent.
He's been living in my house for 10 years, rent free.
That
No.
guy.
No.
We just
Now
had
he
like
crawls in and out of his window to come and go.
we had a good talk, and that was one of the things I was like, you never apologize to the swallows.
Yeah, you don't have to Venmo. You can
He,
just
he
call.
was like, I didn't have the contact information. I was like, you had their Venmo.
Yeah. you
Like,
have
send
lot.
$1 and be like,
With a
sorry.
note.
Sorry.
Right?
It's like,
Broken, I'm
or,
sorry.
Or I'm upstairs. Knock on my door.
Like,
Like,
hey, I'm right
Sorry
here.
I barfed on your floor.
yeah, can you
So
like,
much.
can you like,
So much.
say,
It was an abnormal amount of throw
It
up.
was a lot. I was kind of thrown back by it. I was
Thanks.
like, couldn't
I'm
even be
sorry
mad.
I didn't try not to throw up in your house. You know what? I don't judge him. He's just not allowed here anymore.
No,
that's-
you have to
sounds
wear
like a fine
the
guy.
humiliating barf bag around your neck the whole time. So
Oh,
if you walk
yes.
through the party,
Yes,
everyone
everyone
is like,
knows.
"Oh, you're the puker."
Oh, that's the only way he can ever come back. And we're going to have so many good parties here that
That's
he
right.
can only come back if he wears the barf bag around
Yeah.
his neck the whole night. Or he Venmos me $86.
Because that's what it costs for the fucking
Just like-
86.
It's just a Walmart bag, like just tied around
Yeah,
the ears.
totally. No, I'm
No,
gonna make
it's not
something so
detachable.
much more
Once you
obtrusive
strap
for
that
that.
puppy
Yeah.
on,
It's not gonna be comfortable.
lock and key?
It's gonna be.
the police take
It's
it
gonna
off.
have handcuffs and a padlock. It's gonna be worse than a fucking
That was so funny.
thing that you put on your
Chastity belt.
cock. That. Yep.
what is chastity?
Yeah.
That's weird. I've never
What
heard
is-
that term.
That means
What
you
is
get none.
lock?
Oh,
What is lockbox on your genitals?
Chastity.
box. That's what I'm putting around his vomit neck.
And you want to know something? He can't hide.
$86.
Everyone knows that guy. $86
Well, and, like-
or a really, I'm sorry.
He was
An ounce of
outside
weed.
all night, and then he decided to come inside.
To throw up! I said the same thing! Well, you know what? I think he only made it halfway through. I think he was trying to go up front to throw up.
No,
And all the way through, he was like-
no, he wasn't. Like, the reports I've heard, he was not trying anything. He was trying to just sit there and vomit on my floor, and then have his nice friend clean it up.
Cleaned it up. You're a good friend.
And I wasn't.
Now,
having
next time, what you have to do is rub his nose in it like
it.
a dog.
I almost did. I almost did. I
and
scooped him
slap
up by
him
the
a
back
couple
of his
times.
neck.
Dude,
You
I still
do
got
this
that
outside,
video.
outside.
You got the video
I
of
have the
me?
video of you just like puppy shaming him.
Oh, good.
Just like, get back out here. Like,
It
you're
was
having
so
fun?
great.
Good. Go clean up
Because
your own
Good.
shit.
I swear that Chris was cleaning it up, and Sean came in and was like, "Who the fuck puked? Did you puke?" And Chris was like, "No, I'm just cleaning it up." And he was like, "Who puked?" And I was like, "He's out front." And he was like, "Oh no, he's not."
I had an Uber called, and Sean comes out and like pulls Daniel in back through the room.
Get in here.
Like, my dad gets mad and like punishes me. I've never felt more dad shamed in my entire life, and it wasn't even me.
Good. That was my
You hooked
intention.
him. You hooked him by the ear.
Yeah, I did.
And pulled
That's
him
it.
in.
Totally.
And
Patrick came through the room and said, "Oh my God, you're dadding him."
Yeah. Did you see him? He's dadding him. Fuck that.
Sean said, "That's right." And Patrick's like, "You fucking clean that shit up. I've been dadded. You clean that
You
shit
are
up."
responsible for your own actions, and you're
Dan-
not going to have your friends take care of you.
Yeah. Daniel is our alpha in our group, and you
He
baited
is.
him. You
Good.
put him like,
Alpha.
Good.
I was gonna say
Well,
he's not the
alpha
alpha
anymore.
anymore.
Not
So
anymore.
either one of you could step.
And if he ever gets out of line with either two of you, you just go, "Hey, listen, I'm going to call Sean." And I'll fucking come right over there and grab his ass, and he'll be doing dishes and mixing us drinks before you know shit.
In an apron. In an apron. Listen, bitch. Put the apron on.
Let's keep that fully clothed.
Okay. Well, we'll put two. One on the front, one on the back.
There, I did.
It'll be a wraparound.
Yeah.
I love it. Well, you guys, I'm so glad you came to hang out with us. I'm so glad you came and had fun.
The reality is this,
Thanks
guys.
for bringing the whiskey.
We've got 20 more minutes before they cut us off, so why stop now?
Yeah, let's push through.
So what's
Do we
next?
actually want to say our worker placement game?
Yes.
Oh, yes. What do
Yes,
you got
we
next? You
Yeah, we-
have more notes?
Yes.
Dude, we have a bunch of notes. Like, this is page 1. I brought a full notebook.
Listen, he's got like 100 games.
You're
He
very
says
real.
200.
You're the real deal.
Like,
We're like worker placement, and now let's talk about some of those.
That's right. That's right.
but this is also like the
I feel
aspect
like
of
cleaning
gaming.
carpet is work replacement, right?
It is.
Yeah,
Hey.
worker placement. Yeah, you send someone to go clean up that carpet.
That's right.
Yeah, and you're like, hey, this meeple isn't doing it. Let's go get the actual meeple that did it.
Yeah, that's
You know.
right. Get the real one because you don't deserve this, my friend.
This whole conversation we had is why board games are awesome.
Right.
Right.
Like, we started with board games, and then we exploded out into like hundreds of different topics.
That's right.
That's why board games are so much better than, not better, but like different from video games.
Right.
Because in video games, you just get angry and you can just shout and whatever you want and then block the person and disappear.
But
Or-
do you disappear? Or do you just walk away holding that anger and resentment?
You do, yeah.
You know,
you
I
walk
mean,
away
at
with
least
it.
in a real life scenario.
I mean, I know
You work
when
your shit
me and
out.
Rob play board games, almost every board game that we play, at some point in time in the board game, we will sit there and just bust out laughing, and we'll talk about some other moment in like another board game or another point in time.
Like when Daniel vomited on his false carpet.
So, who's
mean,
Daniel? Is that the
we're not,
vomiter?
we're not, I'm sorry,
Is
we're
this
not.
guy a notorious vomiter?
No, he just referred back
Yes.
to the vomiting.
Okay, good. I thought this was a secondary vomiting incident.
Chris is like, yes. He's
He's a notorious vomiter.
That's why Chris just started
yours
cleaning
was
it up.
yours was strike 3.
Oh.
And it was like the biggest strike of all.
No more invites for you, my friend.
But yeah.
Wow. That
Board
just
games.
killed the whole momentum of this party.
So anyway, who's got a vomit on the carpet tonight?
No one. Get out.
And don't shit on my floor either, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
No,
well, I
there's
gotta leave
no-
now.
All right. Chris is out.
I like
That's
Chris
good.
better now.
But
I
now
like
you
him more.
pulled him out.
I like him more now.
We did not sign any contract stating that, so I'm going to do what I want. Where I want.
All right.
All
And
my
there's
contracts
no
have to have
disclaimer.
no shitting on the carpet.
That's right. No disclaimer. I
There's
love
no
it.
waiver signed. You do whatever you want.
That is
And
awesome.
we brought that onto ourselves when we said anything is acceptable on this podcast.
Anything is acceptable.
Well, you can swallow just
What?
about everything.
But
What are you
also
saying over there?
now I will have a contract that you sign, so if you
Huh?
shit on my floor, you have to clean it up.
That's all it is. You shit on my floor, you clean it up.
That's
Welcome
right.
to our Halloween party. Please sign this contract.
That's right. Signed. I told Sean that this year.
It seems
we
fucking
should have had
reasonable,
it
right?
when you walked in the front door, like Willy Wonka. How the writing just got smaller
just
and
got
smaller
teeny,
and smaller.
teeny, tiny,
You
tiny,
couldn't
tiny,
see
tiny,
what is in. You had to sign at the line.
As long as you provide like a magnifying glass, you should be good.
I'm doing it
Yeah.
this
Done.
year.
Let's do it.
I'll send out pre-signed forms so you can sign it before you get here. But if you don't,
Waiver.
Have you pre-registered?
that's right. No. Oh, sign
All
the wall,
right, here's
please.
100 documents you got to read through before you can come into this house.
Because that's going to be the next swallow party. I promise you that. It will not be at my house. It'll be at a venue.
And that's what I like told you is that like my first game night I had 30 people there.
Yeah.
And it was overwhelming. I was not prepared. I had 2 tables set up. I had to come up with a 3rd table, and
Yeah.
then I couldn't fully enjoy the game I was playing because I wanted to make sure everyone else was playing.
Well, you're the host.
Yeah,
you
the
got to
other
walk
games,
around
you know.
and check.
And so I was not prepared for it.
Yeah.
But like the more people you have, just the more chaos you're going to get. The more,
Right.
but also the more fun you can get
Yep.
out of it.
And the funner it gets because you have more people there, so it does get funner. But if they don't know how to play the game or they're not really wanting to play the game, you have to have that be a part of it all too,
Bogle.
right? Oh, he's fine. His open ones are on this side,
Yeah,
so
that's
he's
fine.
totally fine.
Okay, good.
All already like Chris. He's already got bonus points because he cleaned up after Daniel. And Daniel owes him pretty big. So.
Yeah, no, Chris is in favor points.
Yeah.
I found him, like, it's funny when you find board gamers. It's this really awkward, like, you like board games?
Right, how'd you guys meet?
Like board games.
I was like, I like board games. What board games do you like? And I'm like expecting them to say like Life.
Yeah, Monopoly.
And they're like Gloomhaven. I'm like, wait, what?
What?
That's a real board game.
Right, that's a real game.
Yeah, so, like, whenever I tell people, like, board games, a lot of times I get different responses.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I like Catan.
Yeah.
Okay. You like Catan? What did you like about Catan?
Well, it kind of tells you even what their answer is as to where they are in the gaming industry, right? Like, because I'd be like, I hate board games, right? Because I don't fucking play Monopoly. Then you'll be like, oh, she doesn't even know about games, right?
I don't accept that I hate board games. I'm like, what's one game or what's one aspect of the game that you enjoyed?
Yeah.
Like, do you like rolling the dice and seeing where your person goes?
Right.
No, you don't like that. Okay. Do you like getting...
Do you like the trading between people?
Right.
Hey, I'll give you $500 if you'll give me that property.
Right.
Yeah, do you like that? And from there, I can slowly find a game that you're going to enjoy.
Tell which one they're going to want. You're hell out there. There's just only 2 swallows right there.
That's 2 swallows.
2 swallows. Imagine 4 of us in a room. You don't even exist with 4 swallows in the room. We're so
You get
loud.
swallowed up.
We're birds. We're all screaming. Yeah, need something. That's funny.
What do you
Wait a minute.
Oh.
Hey, how about you look over here?
Jam.
Yeah.
Hi, guys.
Hey,
How you
there
guys
you
been?
go.
You guys been playing some games?
Come back to where you've been missing.
I remember though, like my first board game night here in Colorado.
You are not a native.
No.
Where'd you
I'm
come
gonna ask
from?
Afghan.
I
You
grew
can't
up
even
near
talk.
I
Chicago,
can talk
spent a
all
few
I
years
want.
in Michigan, and then came out here.
Okay. So, kind of. How long you been out here?
6 years.
Oh. But
So-
you're not very old, so that's not very long.
Yeah.
He's been out here for 2/3 of his life.
There you go.
Wow, I'm dying young.
Right? Well, only to this point. Only to this. Robert
Your life up to
says,
this point.
You might be. Depending on your gaming life.
You want to play some Blood Rage.
But like when I came out here, I invited a bunch of people from work and that kind of thing. I had like the same problem with Rob, where like 12 people showed up. And I'm like, all right, even though I own 50 games, we can play 2 of these games.
Right.
And then after that, I remember I went online and I'm like, all right, let's find a game or a bunch of games that can play more than 4 people.
Right.
And I bought like all of them. And then
Right.
after that point, no one else showed up again.
So what would you do differently? Like if you did a gaming night with newbies, we'll say, again, how would you do it differently now? Would you pick different games or would you just set up more games?
So for me, with the board games and like newbies, you have to.
Do they help though?
You can't like introduce like 8 newbies at the same time. You have to like do like 2 at a time. Like hey, me and my roommate, and
Yeah,
then like 2
introduce them
newbies,
slowly.
or that kind of thing.
Because they take time, right? You have to explain to them and help them along as they go.
Yeah, when like at least for me, when I had like 8 newbies, they all kind of just like got fizzled out.
Yeah. Well, you can't teach them.
Yeah.
Right. You can't spend enough time to them to get them hooked on the game because you're too busy trying to manage everybody in the game.
The things I would do differently is I'd separate myself.
Yeah.
I would not be playing a game on the first night. I would be monitoring the games.
Right.
And I would have someone
Because
like
I would think as
Chris.
like you, the game master, you can't play until you know everyone in the room knows how to play. Mm-hmm. So you don't have
like the
to
casino
moderate. You're
host.
like the moderator.
Yeah.
You walk around and make sure no one, they're all getting their fare. It's okay. This is a newbie here at your table. Make sure they're being treated. You're not bullying them.
Exactly.
They
And
get
then-
to play.
And then I'd have someone who was well versed on the game teaching the game.
Mm-hmm.
So instantly, that if we're having more than 12 people, that's 4 people. I need
Yeah.
3 people who know the game.
Well, you have to have them first. Like
Yeah.
you have to. I mean, that's like now we're in Blackhawk. You have your
Right.
tables. You have your so you have your dealers. You have your game managers that are just to manage the game the whole time, while everyone else plays and has a good time.
Correct. And that was my second point, was to not provide too many options.
Right. Yeah.
Because
right.
they show up and I have my cases of games. Like
right.
you walk into my
you
house
can't show them that.
and you see all of them.
Yeah.
And then now all of a sudden,
overwhelming.
yeah. Now all of a sudden people are like, "Let's play this game." I'm like, "That's not going to work with your personality.
Right.
You're not going to like that.
Yeah.
You need to have like some 3 options."
Yeah.
Like I have a ton of games, and when I let somebody choose, I'll let them choose whatever they want. But usually I'll go into my room with them, and I'm like, "Hey, I know you're looking at 200 games here,
Like
I'm
a private conference.
but let me point out 5 to 10 games that I think you will enjoy."
Do you have them categorized?
I do not.
Like
He used to.
not?
Yeah.
used to.
Like
But he had his games he's played,
Oh, I have
the
them
games he's
categorized
not
like
played.
that. Yeah.
Okay. Or like easy to hard.
Right. Well, I have them categorized as I have 2 shelves. I have games that I haven't played, and I have games that I have played.
Okay.
And that's how I have
Own
them categorized.
how many games that you have not played?
no.
Kind of good question, because I just
But
upgraded.
before you answer this question, I just want you guys to randomly guess on how many games, and I'll guess because I don't even know.
Because he has 200 games, we'll say.
And that's
So-
what he
Is it-
said.
I would say
200 games, is that about accurate? Okay.
I'm going half and half. You've played 50, you haven't played 50.
Okay, Sean.
Yes, I'm going to guess out of those 200 games that you have, there's at least 62 of them that you have not played.
62.
Higher or lower?
I'm gonna go
Higher or lower?
I'm gonna go the opposite. I'm gonna go 125 games he's not played.
What?
Oh,
I'm gonna say he owns more games than he has.
played.
Okay, so I just upgraded my shelf. And I counted, so I actually do have a number for this. I have 52 games that I have not played.
Wow.
I would have lost because I was over. I said
Yeah, but
62.
you're still the closest.
Yeah, you're still the
I was-
closest.
yeah.
I said 50-50.
I
And
said
you went under. So,
125.
yeah.
62. So you're right at 50%.
Yeah,
Shannon,
so-
you're closest.
So granted, like some of those games are like that I have on my shelf that I counted were just like expansion style games
Okay.
that I haven't played.
Okay.
Wow.
So like Everdell, I haven't played the Pearl Brook expansion, and that's on that shelf. So I counted that one.
Do these have an insurable value?
Great question, Shaina.
I'm just saying, they're not cheap.
They should.
Yeah.
You should
I
put this on
sell
your renter's
things
insurance.
that have insurable value, right? Like,
No shit.
like at St. Nick's, we sell Department 56. It has an insurable value. Does it have like a dollar amount of value? I don't know. But your house burns down, you're getting some money for that shit.
That's a good question.
I feel like you should for these games. Because they're $30 and up.
They should, but I don't know.
I bet they will soon.
Because I rent, so we have like renter's insurance.
Yeah,
yeah,
still covers it.
still covers it.
So it's
Yeah, but like
I
I've
claim
never.
every guitar I don't own.
Yeah,
You claim every game
I
you
don't
haven't
know.
played.
You spent the fucking money on these games.
I've never really looked into that
Well,
because
you
I've always
should.
wondered.
Yeah, you
I'm
should.
like, because like people are like, "What do you do with all your money?" I'm like, I buy board
you
games.
don't want to know.
I look down and
Saying,
like I look down into the left and
and,
the
I buy
you
sex
guys, you guys
toys.
buy
You don't wanna
snowboards,
know.
and you guys buy skateboards,
But
snowboards.
those are insurable.
High dollar
Snowboards are.
things. You should put
think
them on
they
your
are.
renter's insurance.
I think that they could be.
I think they could be.
But I mean, it's
It
like,
would be
If
worth
there was
checking
a,
into.
Let's say there was a fire and all your games burned up. Wouldn't you want some?
Oh yeah, I'd be
something
fucked.
back for that.
Listen,
Yeah,
that just happened to Patrick's friend.
yeah,
His
right.
whole house burnt down while he was at work.
Yeah,
His
exactly.
friends did not save any of his
Now
shit.
he
It's
didn't
like
own
amazing.
shit, but if he had, it would have been worth something.
Yeah, it's like amazing. Like in one bookshelf, I have roughly $1,000, $2,000
Yeah,
worth
that's
of
totally
investment.
Yeah.
that is totally claimable on your renter's insurance.
Yep.
You know,
Absolutely.
and people
Well-
like people that don't know the board game like
World?
hobby,
Yeah.
like they think Monopoly. They're like,
We're
you
going to
have
call it
a-
an industry because this is a different board game industry than Monopoly.
Yeah, but you tell them, you're like, I have
that's
a
all they
whole
think of.
entire shelf of board games. They're like, you have a whole entire shelf of Monopoly games. So it's like $15, $20
Right.
for Monopoly thing.
Yep, totally.
They're like, why would you ever have that?
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, that's their first thought. They're like,
Now
why you
listen.
ever have that much?
The only
And then their second
Monopoly
thought,
game
they're
that's
like,
worth
that's
money
not-
is from the 50s, right? Like,
Well,
Yeah.
right.
No,
that
it's
you have.
the Broncos Super Bowl.
Are you kidding me?
I have that one.
What is it?
The Broncos Super Bowl one?
What is-
Or
Monop-
yeah,
You
Monopoly.
insure that shit.
Yeah. The Broncos are Broadway. And I think we beat the Packers, so they're Parkway.
Ah.
And then it goes through the rankings throughout the rest of the properties.
Well, there's also Ghetto-opoly.
And there's Simpsonopoly.
There's,
Drunkopoly.
So I have a question.
there's
for Rob.
Ghetto-opoly that I think
Cockonopoly.
is like $300, where there's actual like crack rocks.
What?
Listen,
You can do
you got
Ghetto-nopoly?
crack rocks
Listen.
for a tip, right?
You want to live in my
This is-
low income house,
is
bitch?
not-
You got to give me 12 cracks and 2 blowjobs.
This is not licensed by Hasbro, but there is a Ghetto-opoly where you have to deal with pimps and you deal with crack rocks.
Yes, I don't want that building because it comes
Like, if
with
I-
12 hoes.
If I was ever to play Monopoly, I would play Ghetto-opoly.
I love it. I love it.
There's been a if you love Monopoly and then that's your game, there's a ton of games out there for you.
Fuck, $116 on,
What?
on eBay.
We should make our own.
No.
We'll make our own for $250. Comes with real crack rocks.
You have access to crack rocks?
I'm not telling you. But I can put some in some fucking motherfucking board games, okay?
You have to put a $20 deposit to play this board
That's
game.
right. Play
If
at
any-
your own risk.
If any pieces are missing, then we keep the $20 deposit.
If you are feeling heart palpitations, please call 911
Then do that.
ASAP.
Not licensed by Everything Swallow Podcast. Not licensed by us, Everything Swallow Podcast. Do not call Everything Swallow Podcast.
As Sean is watching a naked man on his phone.
Shut up! Don't look at my phone.
He's always watching porn.
Dude, he was flashing.
Ghetto-opoly. Now, if you're wondering what that is, it's exactly what it sounds like, the ghetto version of Monopoly.
I found it.
Now, quick backstory behind this. Shout out to my man David.
beautiful.
He hit me up the other day and told me I need to
found
check
it
this
on
out.
eBay
So that's what we're going to do. We're going to check it out.
$57.
Lights and
Now, quick
everything.
disclaimer. This game is definitely not for everybody. If you're sensitive and emotional, you're probably not going to like this. There's a lot of stereotypical shit in this
You're
game.
not gonna
But just
like
try to go
it.
into it with an open mind
That's a
and have
black
fun.
guy telling
Remember, it's
you.
just a game.
There's a
It's just a
All right,
game.
now, first up, let me show you the website real quick so you can see where to get it from. Go to ghettopoly.com.
All right, I shall.
They
right
have a
now.
website.
That
Let's
is
do
I'm
this.
going to
funny.
Ghettopoly
Ghettopoly.com.
because I am able to do that.
All right.
Perfect. And I
That's
have
so
just
great.
a few minutes to do it. Ghetto.
Opoly?
But
Do you know
yeah,
how to spell
Slowly.
Do you know how to spell Ghettopoly?
please spell that.
I
Closing,
can spell it close enough that Google is my bitch.
She's a
closing
dirty
statements
whore.
like, you love games, just show up.
Yeah.
Just show up.
Go and try,
get
right?
involved.
Don't be afraid.
As gamers, be open to people who don't
Because
know
you're
games.
you're not a video gamer.
Yeah, be open.
So you're a live person gamer, which is gonna make you nicer.
Video
Yeah,
games will introduce a lot of new things to you. Like, if you're looking for something to do, give it a try. Try it out. People will get you into it. People will show you a bunch of things. There's so much variety to it.
Yeah.
Just like you've spent so much time and invested so much money in this game, why would you not want someone else to come into it?
Right.
Like, just because you're better at that game does not mean you're a better person.
Go
Bring
to
that
your
person in.
local gaming stores and just jump into a crew.
Yeah.
Do you guys have like a Google search? Hey, I'm a gamer looking for some fun gaming people.
There are in Denver meetups,
Okay.
and there's specific days and all that you can go meet up with people.
All right.
Yeah.
You can play.
You can play.
They put it out. Do you play in the park? Do you play other
You
places?
can play
in your
wherever
house?
you want to play.
All right.
So,
That's
Go
good.
to like Game Goat.
Will you turn
Go
that down a
to Enchanted Grounds.
Yeah.
Go to your game store. If you think you might be interested in playing board games, just go in there and try it out.
yeah.
Now I'm just going to throw this out there. If people want to reach out to you, can they? Do you have an email?
Absolutely, yes.
What's your email?
I will come up with an email for you guys to respond to, because my email right now is so junk filled that
Yeah.
I won't see it.
But
So,
you could, like, this could
yeah,
feed a whole new thing,
yeah.
right?
Find me on Facebook.
Find me
Yeah.
on Facebook, Chris Bogle.
Yeah, Robert
Chris
Myers.
Bogle.
I'm connected to the.
Yeah.
My
Robert Myers is
my
hooked
picture
to us,
looks
so
like some
deeply.
like nerdy ass motherfucker.
Now, spell your last name, Chris.
Bogle.
And Rob, you're Robert
Yes.
on social media.
Yeah.
What's your last name?
Myers, Meyers.
I love that.
Just
I'm an
send,
MEIR.
if you send me a friend request, just send a message.
I listen
If
to
you're
you.
interested in the board games,
Come on.
Otherwise, I'll-
If
Chris.
not, just
Let's
send
not
dirty
pretend.
pictures.
You're going to accept
He'll look
every
at those
friend
too.
request that comes your way, bro. Let's not pretend. Come on.
like, yeah,
It's okay, man. It's okay.
It's okay, man.
I got 200 fans. What you got,
That's
homie?
right. That's right. Come on.
2,700.
Now, Robert is a mild player of the lady.
Every aspect.
You know, that's a whole
Last
other
3
podcast
seconds.
with
Go
you.
out and game.
That's right. Go out and game. Oh,
Crashed it. I don't
I
have
love
any
that.
idea.
we always try to. I hope you like what you just heard because you've just been swallowed.
Make sure and listen to us on Podbean, Stitcher, Spotify, iHeartRadio, even YouTube and Castbox, or wherever you love to listen to your podcasts.
Give us a like, give us a love, give us 5 stars. Remember to share us with your friends because it makes a difference.
Remember, follow the swallows.